Okay, so welcome to session number 91, or season 5, episode 2 of phase 2. So we're almost to the end of the build up to the war. Season 5 is not a long season. It's basically to a point where I can move all 3 groups over to war footing at the same time.
Right.
So you get to have a small number of stories at 10th level instead of a year-long story.
Yep.
Just so you're all aware of what I'm doing, I try to make it so you're planning well enough that you'll be looking at level 11 soon, and the fact that you'll be going into a world war. So Wrath of the Immortals is about the war. And that war is important. And that war is almost like a side note in nearly every storyline that's released.
Yeah.
I think I think you want to level it there. I don't actually have to go to the stats for level.
You don't need to have the stats. The stats do not remove anything from your character.
Yeah.
The stats do not provide you any extras for your character. Stats are just how much better you are at doing a skill roll. There are
No.
I don't worry about that because to be honest, it is an artificial requirement.
Is that interesting?
Yeah.
That we're in the intro and it's talking about the fact that in multiclassing the requirements they put in there are so restrictive that most people can't meet them.
I just wondered if what you're talking about is being recorded.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, because of the music.
We will do.
I'll turn the music down a bit more so people can hear me better.
Sorry.
All good.
So I do realise
It's all good. So
I really
it's being
miss my
recorded.
hearing aid.
And so at the table today we have Paul.
Who is Lull Damer, who is a diplomat, pretty boy, Celestial Warlock, so he's the party healer, even though we have a cleric. And
You've got a part-time cleric.
we've got a part-time cleric and a part-time healer. We sort of make do. Yes. Inadvertently head of his own clan, which includes the rest of the party members so far.
As honorary members.
As honorary members, well, they're officially members according to Elven customs. I found out.
It gives them a lot of perks. But
it
it doesn't also stipulate that they have to fight for the country.
No.
So
They
by
fight,
being an
for,
honorary
they fight
member,
for the clan.
or they don't even have to fight for the clan. An honorary member is
Yeah, if I ask, they might, well, they should actually do something, but I'm not going to ask stupid things because I'm a smart voice. I'm not just a pretty. No, I'm not just a pretty voice. I'm a smart voice and a wise voice.
Hey buddy, you trying to tell me something?
And
You want to see what I'm drinking, do you?
I'm starving.
and the interface between two peoples, one of whom doesn't know about the other one. That just gets amusing fun.
He's happy now that he smelled what I was drinking.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
So yes. And then the next person we have is Jeff.
I'm playing Archeologist.
You should put your names up there.
Gambler, Sailor, Gate About Town, Draft Dodger, Rebel Without a Cause, or a Clue.
So a PC then. Right.
Pretty much he has no real... He likes to go with the flow.
Well, technically you're no longer a draft dodger because you've been given a letter saying retroactively that you've worked with the Tyranny people to help protect the trade of all the nations.
How long is that going to last for?
As long as Archeologist is around, Tyranny will keep it to the letter of the agreement.
Okay. Damn it. I think there's one way. The old saying, you know, what are you rebelling against? What have you got?
Yep.
So you can rebel against one and then get imprisoned by the other.
Yeah, basically, Tolicus, you know, one of the most dangerous words to say to Tolicus is, I bet you wouldn't.
Well, Theadan culture is everywhere, but Darkhan Reach is everywhere. But there's not one place you can get to that the Darkanian ambassadors and spies can't reach you.
Hey, I'd say that to this party or to the Wednesday night party.
Because you guys
all
are
been the hollow room.
Yes.
Technically, they have access to that too, but you'll find out about that later.
Yes. Oh, also I'm carrier of a bunch of illegal knowledge.
Yes.
So.
That's all of it, isn't it? Or you got more?
I've got more.
And
I've got a stack of 10 books, none of which anyone is supposed to have ever read.
well, no one outside of the people who had them was supposed to read.
Well, yes, that's true. Well, actually, they weren't supposed to read some of them.
Well, the person you got them from had stolen from someone else, so he wasn't the official person to have them.
Yes.
People he stole them from were allowed to have them.
Yes, and strictly by their own beliefs, they shouldn't have had a couple of them.
Well, the Lantern School of Magic has the understanding, this is their actual written policy, that there is no illegal form of magic.
Right.
As long as it's arcane and arcane in origin.
Yes, and some of these go, here is the divine backing behind your arcane beliefs.
They don't mind that there's divine backing, they just don't want people practicing.
Yes, I know, but people do.
Yes.
And that book says so.
And their clerics
And
will...
it says it's of the religion. So, a bunch of stuff that it's illegal knowledge.
Yep. Well, they do have one allowed religion,
Yes.
which requires them to be wizards on top of being clerics.
Yes.
That's the only requirement. Then we come round to Ariadna.
Who plays Calcrix, the White Dragon, the Jazz Wings. And her
And white tips.
offsiders,
Yes.
for lack of a better word.
Minions.
Mini-use.
Mini Calcrixes, not quite. Eat her plant-looking friend that rests upon her horn, and Grindelwaffle Brewmaster, her coffee brewing gnome, coffee empire person.
Amanuensis.
Yes.
And
So words, not my friend today.
a coffee empire means that there's lots of people who are willing to give you information for coffee.
Yes.
It's amazing when you have a drug that everyone wants.
Yes. And is not illegal.
A sociably legal and acceptable drug.
Alcohol's the same.
Yes, but alcohol is a depressant on people's capabilities.
Mm.
Coffee helps them. It makes them better at giving you info, not worse.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
It can be said for
Calcrix's
both.
coffee does. Her coffee has
Oh.
healing properties.
Yes.
She does magic coffee.
She has special,
You put special
magically
stuff.
grown beans.
And some of the mushrooms she uses in the beans, I'm sure, works as well.
Damn it. So it could have been a rogue herbalist sailor who dealt with magical mushrooms.
Yeah, she could have.
So,
Yep.
Damn it.
right, so spend some downtime on learning, on getting a herbalist, get an alchemist. Job done.
And I'm not predicting anything for the game, but I'll take my dice out of dice jail for now.
With the hope that they're not going to kill you today.
With the hope that they won't
They
end
won't
up
be going
right
back
back
in
in there a little bit later.
Okay, and online today we have Jeremy.
Oh,
Yes, good evening all. I'm playing Dracula, the Atruaghin tribesman who started life in a somewhat different expectation as a effectively policeman of the clans, or of the elf clan, and but has been selected by Atruaghin himself to
use the dice.
lead the tribe
Oh,
as
nice.
shaman of the people and also captain of the newly confirmed dragon tribe that almost basically has taken itself.
Yes.
Yep.
So when people talk about the idea of he was like a part-time cleric, well, it's a technically cleric, yes, but he's a shaman, not so much a healer.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a leader, not a helper.
Yes.
I was going to say, you fall under many umbrellas, one of which is not your actual title.
And
Yes.
you do have an NPC traveling with you known as Drazzle, who is sometimes a cleric, sometimes a sorcerer, sometimes an assassin. Of course, he hasn't actually used the assassination around party members who remember. Yeah.
I know. Some of us have seen him go put Kimmel in the back of the van. Sounds like assassination to me.
Well, that's an assassination. That's not being an assassin by class.
He's only killed a few things in front of people. He
Yes.
rarely helps. And he normally documents everything you do.
Although the last time he helped in one of the other groups, he took them back in time.
He did and told him he was tired of doing it. And had a big long talk to them about how that he had taken them back too many times, but they should pay attention to what they're doing.
We need to stop dying.
Did he tell them how many times?
No, he said they just done it so much he was tired of doing it, and if they do it again, he'll just let them die.
Did they do it right that time?
We're doing better this time around.
You survived.
So every time he spoke up, they decided to listen from that point onwards.
That sounds like a plan. Those are players
The,
who don't
the
listen.
druid of the group is now making a point of turning to Drazzle at certain parts along the way and going, have we finished here? Should we move along? Do we need to stick around for a bit?
Well, they'd taken 3 jumps off the main path into a sidetrack, onto a sidetrack, onto a sidetrack, without completing any of them.
All side quests, no completions.
Oh dear.
It was like the worst student at uni's curriculum.
It was understandable.
Back up and finish them. Yeah. Alright.
Okay, so yes, with the storyline, you had found out a lot of interesting things happening. One of the secrets had been handed to Niri, which
Nirai.
yeah, you've got me not knowing which one's
Sorry.
which. About the fact that the elves themselves are killing the trees of Alpine. Because they know that if the trees of life are active when the master reaches it, that's game over.
Yeah.
All the elves die at that instant.
It's
Right, so they're shutting down the trees on the premise that if they do it, it might be temporary.
I know they're moving the trees.
Or moving.
So they're basically killing the trees that are there, draining their power into saplings of those trees until those trees themselves die. And
Yeah.
they take those saplings away. And that means Alpine itself dies. And
Until
that's the cost they're paying to stop someone else coming in and wiping out all elves with one go.
And doing it permanently. Yes.
And that's one of the futures where the master achieves godhood is by killing every elf.
Yeah.
And even the shadow elves that might be the trees of life, which
Yes.
they don't know about.
Yeah. Which means putting the trees back will explicitly tie the shadow elves to the trees and they'll know it.
Well, if the trees all die, then so do the shadow elves.
Yeah.
They just don't understand that aspect.
Yes. Well, that's once Lull finds out about this, that's one of the things he will make sure that they do know about.
So I thought, as characters, you find that interesting as to why the trees are dying, even though the characters don't know.
Yes.
So, and with all these things, you're being given a few different jobs to try to go off and do. You chose one that would help you find a missing archaeologist who's digging into a end of civilization event, which is in Yawning. She's an archaeologist, and you were sent to help her with her investigations because she's pretty much gone silent in reporting. Probably too busy digging into stuff, and you found out a couple of days before you arrived she was exploring a tomb and hadn't come back. And you found the tomb, got inside, found a lot of really intense magic protecting it, which is far above what
It's
most people
tough.
use now.
Lots of times.
Lots of tubs. And found a metallic dragon that had been taken down by toxins, which is an feat in itself. Dragons are rarely known to be taken out by poison.
They've got really good fort saves.
That and some of them are immune.
Yes.
obviously this one was.
Or at least they used a
He may
poison
even have been
weapon.
one of the immune ones, but the level of power of the civilization that was here beforehand was enough to challenge the gods, as Paul's studies have shown.
Yes.
What about
So do you know Dragonlance at all?
Well, some
You know
the
the guy who called the Cataclysm down?
Yeah, the Sea of Mystara, not yet.
So it was almost that level of stupidity power.
How can you beat on your gods?
Yep.
No, it's a I'm more righteous than you, we should do it this way.
Yeah.
And
And
from
there's
someone
enough
who
power
had
back up.
fallen off the path of righteousness,
Yep.
saying this to their supposed sponsor, who can see right through their bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the story of how the second major fire civilization was wiped out.
Is ridiculous.
Not just that.
I presume most civilizations being wiped out is generally due to somebody.
Well, there's only been two that the gods have taken
Yeah.
direct access to,
Yeah.
and both of them were where fire was dominant. The aspect of fire was the ruling class.
Those fire guys tend to be a bit arrogant.
It's also the one where magic was dominant.
Who's fire aspect?
And the
Generally, but I'm not.
and the nation of Galantry was also founded by fire aspected Genasi.
Yeah.
That's where they actually came into the world. So.
Yes.
Do we have any Genasi in this group?
Not in this group.
No, we had Thailand, but not no
Yeah.
I was told that you couldn't. I haven't seen a Genasi on the list of races when I was choosing.
Well, it is one of the elemental things, but Genasi comes with those sort of problems.
Yes. Not
Because-
for new players, really.
That they don't actually breed true.
They breed true as Genasi, though, I think.
No,
No, not even then.
because every Genasi looks like whatever race they've been born into.
Right, so two Genasi are going to have
Okay.
a chance of giving a non-Genasi child of one of the two races involved. Yeah. So you've got 4 choices. You can have 4 kids and each one's different. And then you have a 5th one and it's got a mix of the gene types of the Genasi.
diversity,
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay, so yes, last we had it, you had travelled into the dungeon, you had bypassed the magic ward they had over the front of it, gotten into the passageways, found a dragon that had been taken down by toxins, and then went through a passageway explaining how to give reference to the Tome of the Dead, and failed to give reference to the Tome of the Dead, fought the protector of the...
Do you mean difference?
Difference.
Difference?
Yep, that's it.
Is that what I said?
You said reference. And
Reverence?
Reverence.
Reverence and
yeah.
deference. Those, yes.
Those are
Either
the
works.
right.
And then you had the fight said Guardian. Defeating
It was
Guardian.
a Naga, wasn't it?
He was a Naga, yes.
That's like cheating.
And that's
Yeah.
where we ended the previous session when you had fought that
Yes.
person. So they currently have the full review of the others looking after said dragon and probably trying to help them get out of the dungeon because they look very woozy.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't search the
They offered to help you, but they sort of keep running into walls.
Oh. Poor thing.
I suppose we guys check out this chamber over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably a burial chamber, considering Nagas are guardians of the dead.
Yes.
They can be.
They're often used as guardians for other things, but guardians of tombs is very common.
Okay, so you see what appears to be a great stone door that the Guardian had basically uncoiled from and crawled back into.
So there's just like a...
Dragon was looking around to see if there's evidence of previous recent passage, i.e. the archaeologists having come this way. I think we were following tracks down here.
Yeah.
You followed tracks down into the antechamber to this room, but there were no tracks down to the bottom here. You decided to check it out while you were here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the tracks went the other way, didn't they?
the tracks came in but didn't come out.
Okay.
And you can look around, so there's this chamber inside the chamber, And that big door that the Naga came out of is on front of this small inner chamber. And you can walk around it completely and even climb over the top if you wish to.
Well, we have a quick look around to see if there's anything on the Naga.
The Naga itself has a lot of symbology all over it.
Okay.
Having not followed the rest in there, I don't think. I think I was
You were in
just
the hallway.
in the hallway. I might just see if I can see evidence of the archaeologist moving beyond, but obviously these guys are doing their thing. So
Everyone had walked into the hallway, so looking to see if the archaeologist walked into the hallway is a little late.
Okay. I thought we were
Because-
following the tracks.
You follow. I said there were tracks into the room, and then there was this big passageway going off from it, and then
Right.
people went down that
Oh,
passageway.
okay. So this is a secondary hallway.
So you had the antechamber where you found
Okay,
the brass dragon,
yeah,
and then
Okay.
this passageway going off where you fought the
I
Naga at the end.
didn't realise it was a secondary hallway. So that's okay. I will take all that back then.
All good. So there's only one bit between the entryway where the dragon was and the Naga, and there's no other doors or ways leading off it until you go back to the
One of
original
you
entryway.
smart
Is there a
people
great
check the
di-
symbology on
distance
the Naga.
between
I'm
where we
definitely
diverted away from the footsteps?
Probably about 60 feet.
I won't wander off.
What was that, Joe?
I was just saying one of the smarter people who's got those sort of book learnings.
I'm all about the book learning as well as the fumicating. So
And the things you do see in all the artwork is basically physical games of some sort, competitions.
yeah,
So that's what we worked out last night. All I need to do is a backflip or something impressive.
Shows
So next time you see a Naga, you know what to do.
So that Naga might be just play chess or something and then do the backflip and salsa and then tries to kill me again.
Depends on how good the backflip is. If you do it and then move your pawn forward,
yeah. Anyway, I'm going to apply myself and my book learning as suggested. And double checking.
Symbology.
The symbology of what's on the Naga.
matches the hallway.
Yeah, but what does it actually indicate as a set of symbols in itself? What does it mean on there? Using history, I've got legends as a spec, so I've got expertise dice with that.
So I can say simply with expertise as itself is that to you it looks like it represents physicality as the core principle of the afterlife.
Okay, I describe that.
So you reach. So the people who go to this afterlife is all about someone who was very physical in life.
Yeah,
This was their afterlife.
afterlife for the physical, very physically oriented people.
I will examine the gateway all over. So
Looking at the gateway all over, you can see that there doesn't appear to be any hinges or seams.
I'm going to try and
But the
find-
rock looks different. You can actually feel where the rock is different. It's not a seam, but the rock's different.
I'm going to see if I can find a mechanism or a way of opening it.
From what you're seeing of this place so far, you don't believe it's a mechanism.
Oh. So
And what Lull understands is these were among the pinnacle of mages of the world before they disappeared. No one has achieved their level of magic since. Whereas the previous one before that was the pinnacle of science, which no one has achieved since.
mostly because the gods keep stomping on them when they try. Yeah. So that indicates this door is open with magic that we probably don't have access to.
Or
Possibly nobody does.
or a ritual or some
Or
sort
some
of
other sort of thing. So yeah, looking around to see if there's some way to unlock it,
Lull can have an insight roll.
whether it's
And he can have advantage because he had a enough examining of the art.
Yep. So really good look at it. So on the 2d20s.
While they're looking around and preparing for that, Martin, Drachnima is actually providing appropriate rights, last rights for the Naga having fulfilled its appropriate duty, apologising for having it being required to be activated and protect the tomb.
Well, you realise it hasn't died, it's just merged back into the door.
Yeah. Mark,
Okay, right.
yeah. These are my 220 rolls.
Yeah. It's not a bad roll.
Yeah. So
Did you roll
Okay.
20s?
I rolled an 18 and a 16.
What?
Yes.
Okay, so you think if you do perform a feat of strength or dexterity, or someone does one in front of the
Something
door,
particularly physical.
something
Yes.
physical to represent physicality, then there's a good chance the door will open to that.
Right. So
It would be, you believe all the artwork and the symbology leads to the fact that someone's meant to do something like that here,
Yep. And
enough to impress the Guardian.
Right. So it's going to be impressive, and therefore both preferably spectacular, but particularly bloody difficult.
And failure to do so will activate the Naga.
Oh. Okay. Now that's a bit of a downer.
It's basically you either impress
do
or
it right
die.
or have a fight. Yeah. Seeing I'm not particularly physical, it comes down to people who aren't me.
Well, you do have a rogue who is fairly physical in the sense that acrobatics is physicality.
Oh yeah. Well, he's pretty physical as well, but he was also an investigator. He's rogue, as well as cleric. But yes, I'm saying it comes down to all of you guys staring directly at you.
Alright.
Lord Tollicus saved the day and backflip his way into fame and fortune.
Nope, I'm probably going to roll really, really shite and smack my face first into the floor.
You're going to acrobat the door open.
Yeah, I'm basically going to do like massive flip straight through the door. So hopefully my flips will be impressive enough.
Then the door opens in
And
front
the
of you.
door opens before I smack into it.
We shall see. It's always funny when it doesn't succeed.
Make it funny. I rolled a 3 on the dice, so I'll just check my acrobatics, but I don't think it's that good.
Fingers are pointing at the Naga already.
Well, Dracnomir also attempts some form of.
I mean, it's a 12.
Watching Autolycus start to do the flips, he'll line up a trick pinning shot with the longbow to tag his shoulder to the door.
Okay, give me a roll.
I can't remember what trick or pinning shot actually do.
It will stick him to the wall or to the floor.
Yeah.
Through the hand or through the foot, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've got trick shot separate to pinning hit, so it's whether I combine both or not, either way.
Pinning hit is to hold someone in place.
Yeah.
15, 19, AC 29.
That's it.
Okay, so there is this reason what you're doing is flip, 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 squish, as you realise your foot has been pinned to the floor.
I wasn't going through skin, only through using the armour or the clothing.
I'm more than happy to say it went through his boot.
I'm happy to go through the boot, but the idea is it was not actually piercing skin.
Okay. How much did you
Even more
make?
impressive.
How much did you make your roll by?
Oh, I got AC 29, so
29, which means you can quite happily go. I'm going to put this arrow between his big toe and the second toe and make it.
that's cool.
Which could make Tollicus have this amazing face plant, supplication before the door. And the door opened. Tollicus did it.
It was impressive. Doesn't mean it had to be good. But hey,
Hey, even rolling a 3, I
applause.
still got a 12.
Applause all round.
The DC was actually 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but it's
So
still
it's gonna be-
like A 12 still not
yeah.
that bad.
It's not that bad, but yeah.
And you see basically the Naga itself move, and as it does, the door opens by the Naga moving into the framework.
Before we actually go in, can we see if there's any sign of the archaeologist going through this door?
You do not. You just see what appears to be a sarcophagus in there.
Right, and no tracks on the floor.
No tracks, a thick layer of dust, thick enough that as soon as you step in there, the dust actually goes over your foot.
What do you guys think?
You don't think this has been open in quite a few thousand years?
Yeah, well, he's not been in this room.
Yeah.
Or if he did, he was floating.
Wasn't it her?
It wasn't her.
Her.
Um,
If she had been here, she was floating.
It might be worth checking here, because this could be what she was in here looking for.
That's actually true.
That's the problem we've got, because we actually don't know what she was searching for, do we?
Yeah. No, not yet.
Well, she was searching into the basically research into the extinction level event that hit Ilara.
Yeah, we know the object of what she was after, but we don't know what she was actually looking for in this place.
So we might as well check this room out while
Yeah.
we've got it open. This
Yeah.
could have been her destination.
That's true. Now, she may have been doing this as a fishing expedition. We don't know what information she was working on that made this a target.
And correct, I must suggest that if she has not been here, we probably don't need to disturb this tomb until we find her and find out that she hasn't found otherwise.
Yeah, I'm still going to have a look at the symbols and symbolism in the room, although I'm not going to enter it. I'm not going to enter it anyway. So that I know what to tell her when we meet her.
I just feel that it might be worth checking out now.
Yeah.
Because for all we know, she could have come through here or...
Well, if she's an archaeologist, she's not going to have got the door open, will she?
Certainly we've seen evidence that she doesn't actually leave tracks, in the sense that she was able to fly across the room to avoid the traps in between the things. So
that's actually
we know
really
that
good
she
point.
can avoid stepping on the floor.
And to be honest, archaeologists in this situation might have athletic abilities.
Might have athletic abilities, true. She's more likely to have boots of flying or something similar.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
But,
is, in this
yeah,
setting,
it's possible.
the archaeologist is also more likely to be a physical rogue type or...
True. Yeah, because you could quite happily go, I'm a rogue, I'm an investigator, I happen to be an archaeologist. And do Indiana Jones.
Or she interpreted the symbols before activating the Naga and realised, I'll come back to that one if I need to.
Yes.
Or she recognised the symbols, did something fancy and bypassed it. Especially if she could fly.
But even if she could fly, it does not look like anything's been disturbed.
Nothing looks disturbed at all. You can still see a layer of dust on the sarcophagus as well.
Yeah, which means if she did fly into here, she didn't touch anything, she just looked at it.
Depending on what sort of effort she was like, if it was a wing flight, the chances are if she flew up enough, she wouldn't disturb the dust anyway.
Yeah, but if she's doing proper archaeologist things, she'd have taken rubbings of things, she'd have got a lot closer.
Or can we
All
tell
she did was look at stuff.
Can we tell if the sarcophagus has dust on it still? Or? Alright, what do you guys want to do? Should we leave
You
it
can
there?
also see a lot of symbology on the walls here of the sphere of matter and earth.
Ooh, definitely.
That's one of the things I was explicitly doing as you were going to look. I'm going to be looking at the symbology and the symbols in this room from the door to work out what, as a whole, this means.
So from what you see from this doorway, this is what the ancient Nithians believed to be how to go to the heaven related to the sphere of matter and gods of earth. This was where they believed that the strong and the dexterous went to their afterlife.
So it looks like exactly what you'd expect this tomb to look like in this place. Okay, I will tell people that. Nothing. Given what this is and where it is, there is absolutely nothing exceptional in this room.
And by looking
Unless
at
it's
the
inside the coffin.
artwork and what you've looked at is basically they would place a body in there and expect the body not to be there when they came back.
Yes.
This is about ascending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So doesn't that mean that this could be researching the godhood?
They
No.
were top tier
Yeah.
spellcasters, so there's a good chance.
That's true,
I
actually.
believe that this was part of ascending.
This could be information that might help us with the master.
That's true. Although we'd need more information about their preparations to get to this point.
Or maybe there's more information.
Further in.
This looks
That's
like
where
it's
we are.
about the dead, not the living. So they put a body in here, and the body goes to its afterlife. But for them, ascending to the afterlife is supposed to be a better life than what you have now.
Yeah.
So Drachmina, you think we should just leave this for the moment?
I see no reason to disturb the rest until we without further cause.
Yeah.
Okay.
If needed, we can come back. The prime mission at the moment, though, is to find the archaeologist.
So we'll go back up to the other direction.
Okay, so moving that back to where you met the dragon, they've moved out.
Is the door closed again behind?
It does close as the last of you steps out.
Right.
Which you would expect from something designed to witness an event.
Yes.
It doesn't
Which is-
allow the unworthy.
Well, the other thing too is considering this is ascension by, a physical ascension of the body, it means that tomb's reusable. So this is it's been 5 years since the last one, we'll put you in it.
Could be quicker.
Could be quicker, that's true.
Oh, hang on, we should have actually checked it out that one. That was the thought to have while we were actually there, which was
Yeah.
checking for magic.
Well, I was looking at it, therefore we would have shown up.
You do have an understanding this entire place has
Yes.
lots of magical entities ready.
Yeah. If
But I will give Tolicus a engineering check, which is one of the new skills, which is based on intelligence.
Okay, I don't know if I have that. I don't do any of the new stuff. But I probably would have had engineering, but...
Assume you're trained in it at least.
Yeah.
Alright, I rolled a 19.
Okay. So,
Keep the dice.
even looking at it from the outside, you would assume that from things that you've seen in higher history, or in some of their great tombs, especially display pieces, the sarcophagus itself had mechanisms that would drop the body out. So it would appear to be empty when other people came in. This may or may not be the fact here, but for a reusable thing, the actual sarcophagus was generally not the end point.
So it could be like a tunnel or
It could be it drops the body into a crematorium.
Well, it could also be that the high-powered magic uses, the body goes in, the lid gets shut, boosh!
They turn to dust.
It turns to dust and gets siphoned out through little vents.
And the room
Yes.
could be full of all the people who've been in there before. But from where you've been, that's the usual thing they did for reusable tombs was they would have a way of emptying it that people didn't see.
Yeah.
It'd be like a back entrance way of doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or an
False-
automated.
Or a false bottom in it. That's what anything like that.
Most of the ancient and old stuff that people reuse, no one maintains because it's been so long since anyone actually knew how it was built that they wanted to keep the secrets.
Yes.
So that's what you find out from your roguing is some of the thieves guilds remember the mechanics behind it because it's been passed down through generations that people got murdered for knowing.
Yes. Why they make sure that at least some of their members are members of things like
In case a
embalming
large
teams.
portion of the workforce mysteriously disappeared or died.
That's what
It is one way of making sure that the knowledge never spreads is that the peoples we know are wiped out, which is part of what the current the Immortals is all about. The gods wiping out knowledge of one nation in particular. So that's where that comes in the balance for you to remember.
Yes.
So it's not above people wiping out those who know how old it is.
It's about what
Yes.
people
And,
who know like with generic information about.
and Claw's made a point of learning about quite a few of these things. Raphael must not know some of the things that are in my head. In fact, Raphael probably wouldn't care. But a lot of the other ones shouldn't know what's in my head.
I'll add this to your bit of knowledge. The gods are not actually permitted to interfere with mortals unless the mortals specifically break one of those dictates.
Yes,
So
but
if
they knew about it, they could manipulate me into things.
so it might be telling them is you breaking that covenant they have.
Yes.
What they have is their restrictions. They don't tell anyone.
Yes. So
As long as you don't break it,
Yeah.
they can't touch you.
So 3 or 4 of them may know about what I know, but as long as I don't tell any of them
But we
or
don't
any of the
know
gods, I'm fine.
So what I get from what Martin just said was
Yeah.
basically all the gods have these restrictions, which are actually just to tell us what they are,
Yeah.
and they can kill us if we break them without knowing what they are.
Yes.
Pretty much like
It's not like God's got to announce their limitations.
Yes. Well, this is
Even
one of the-
if the limitations are kind of themselves.
yeah.
And the more powerful
Yeah.
the god, the more limitations they have.
Yes. Yes. Then you get things like the Glorantha setting, which has god learners, which are people who have gone, hey, these gods are a bit like these gods, let's study this. And they are absolutely reviled by every single religious person ever. And if they find out you have any god learner knowledge, you usually end up fire food.
Well, if you know what their restrictions are, you can use it
Yep.
to keep yourself alive, which is why a lot of people go out of their way to learn them.
Yes. To find the loopholes.
Or you don't want the gods having some little excuse.
Yeah.
Oh, you ate fish on a rock in my desert
This one's probably not very
at this
well
time.
Without
And-
scaling it first, you monster.
And
Yeah.
the big thing you know is the gods are petty.
Yes.
The gods are not your friend. The gods are there because you need them, not because you want them. Those who have become atheists die within 7 days from achieving adulthood. They do
Gods
not.
really don't like atheists.
You cannot rest if you do not have a god.
Oh. Because they've got that much control over your soul and you need that to rest.
And once you no longer have a god protecting you, the demons have full rights to you, and
Yep.
they're getting at everyone they can. And they take every soul that.
Because souls are fuel.
Yes. So it's considered illegal not to have a deity in most places.
Because it counts as demon summoning.
Yeah. And demons can use your body to enter.
That's why it's called demon summoning.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's why everyone
So-
has a god, whether they just pay lip service or they actually intensely follow.
Or just find someone that doesn't care.
Well, most religions have a pantheon, and if you follow that pantheon, like the
Yeah.
Titan pantheon,
Probably follow that one.
Yeah.
that gives you the same protection as if you follow a specific god.
Yeah.
But
But
anyone
it's-
in that pantheon can contact you and request your assistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's why in Mystara, you can't do what you can do in other settings, which is follow a principle rather than a god.
We're following the Archeologist. I
Yes.
feel like we've
Yes,
gotten
we are.
into a discussion
No,
that's
we
outside a game.
No, we were actually talking about this room.
It's actually about the tomb and
Okay.
its use, and it's a bit esoteric, but it's
Yeah.
still on sort of on point.
He wanted to know what he learned from looking at the tomb.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's basically the information he got that's not discussed in many places.
Ah.
Yes.
And there would also be symbology of demons and devils taking those who are unworthy.
The other thing we're looking at here, not just the archaeologist, but we're trying to work out why the archaeologist, this is important to fight against the master. So we can, we're trying to also work out what this tomb tells us about our fight.
Yes.
And the last thing you pick up from the archaeology here is that they believe that those who ascend become soldiers for the sphere of matter.
Yes.
So basically,
They
people who go into the tomb become God fodder.
Yes.
Well,
Services.
only those who are worthy.
Yeah.
Those that are unworthy go
They become fuel.
Fuel for the demons.
Yes. Or fuel for the god. They're just not
The
going to tell you
gods,
that.
the gods don't. They say the gods don't touch the
They
demons.
say.
That's what they say. Yes.
Keep discussing it.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to check that we hadn't wandered off. because
Yeah.
I'm not as entrenched in D&D stuff, so it's hard for me to sometimes tell the difference between what is generic knowledge and what's relevant to the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
okay, so with that, you rejoin the others at the main intersection between all the separate passageways, and there is the opposite set of stairs going down from where you found the dragon, as well as a passageway continuing on to the north.
So, Jackman, do you want to see if you can see more tracks, or?
I was going to say, I wasn't certain at the end there when Martin mentioned there were tracks going one way or not, but if there's not, if it's not clear immediately, we'll certainly have a look to see if we can find evidence of the archaeologist passing.
Okay, Draknamir has a look at the stairs going down the opposite side from where you found the dragon, and you also find footsteps leading down that way.
Okay.
So it looked like
There's no evidence of the footsteps coming back
There are none of
the
them
way we
coming
just
back
come
way.
from.
Right.
So, from Lull's point of view, Lull would believe that the metallic dragon was in humanoid form when it was hit by the darts. Hence the footsteps
Right.
going down.
Alright, so it's the dragon's footprints, not hers.
I thought I'd add that little bit now to
No.
give you that insight into why you saw steps going down
Yeah.
and a dragon in the middle.
That does fill things out rather well.
Because dragons have the ability to polymorph.
Yes. Whether it's natural to them or not, because, well, spells.
It's actually
Dragons.
natural to every dragon to polymorph.
Because the way polymorph works, you turn into an average member of the species you've transformed into.
Well, yeah, considering the end result of one of my secret crafts is to go the other way,
Jump better.
well, to be able to turn into a dragon.
Because we've all got evidence that dragons can turn into
Yeah.
humanoid form quite recently,
Yes.
it's the fact that cultists
yeah.
can now do it.
Yeah, but I didn't know all of them had it. Now I do.
Yeah.
So which spell can I do now? Because I'm looking at my spell sheet.
It's not a spell, it is your natural ability to change into a elf or
Yeah.
a dragonborn.
Yes.
Yep. As well as change size.
Yep.
So it can always become a smaller size.
Oh, I was just looking at spells that might help me
Yeah, but it means
find things.
Yeah, but it's so you can cute at people, not just do it with big eyes, but go, I'm more than cute, and then get back up to horse size again.
And then
Or
when they treat you
dragon
badly,
size.
you just sit on top of them and grow.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Yes.
It's one way to sink a boat.
True.
I sit on the plow, the front end, and just grow. Okay, so yes, do you follow the steps down, Jeremy?
So you might as well go, like I say, we've got effectively two options. One way, is there steps on the other halfway club? The dirty tracks?
The other way, you have a quick look there, you do see two sets of tracks heading that way.
Two sets, both going down,
Both
nothing
going
coming back.
two sets heading north and not coming back.
Two sets.
Yeah.
So there would be more.
There were no stairs down north, it's just that it
Yeah.
reaches another area where it's just black.
Okay.
I would suggest that it is more likely that the archaeologist has gone down the pathway of two tracks and that she used another of her followers to activate traps down the other one. So potentially we could go down the stairs and try and rescue another of her followers or give them life strikes.
She doesn't seem like very nice if she's using people as. She's doing the lazy way of doing traps.
Well, it depends.
Maybe
If
she
she's
doesn't have the skills to do
Yeah.
the...
Yeah, maybe she's actually employed actual specialists, like actual rogues for this job.
And say, imagine you've got someone's employed you to find the traps for them, and you've gone down and not come back. Okay, we might try a different way.
Yes.
So,
Also, I've saved on that pay.
so yeah, you go down the way that the two tracks went down. So
I'm happy to go either, like I say, both have arguments to go down, but I think if we're trying to get to the archaeologist as soon as possible, the double track seems more
Well,
likely.
you expect that this tomb would be mirrored. So you would have another supplication chamber to the down the stairs.
Well, let's just carefully check the artwork on the way down.
But you wouldn't get it until you reached the antechamber and then the hallway.
Alright, let's...
Or you can head north and see if there's more chambers that way.
Well, which way did the single set go?
The single set goes down.
Well, so we're
In
working
the
on
same way that the dragon steps went down the first pathway we went.
Yeah.
So
There was
the
dragon part when we said it.
So we're working on the theory that the archaeologist is the one single set of steps.
And what was that?
I just trying to.
Picture it.
I can't remember what you said we see in the first few seconds.
Okay, so you see that there is a set of stairs going down with a single set of prints that you had identified by Draconic.
Okay.
To the north is two sets of prints that lead into another one of those solid black walls that you've seen a few of so far.
Do any of the prints show that they might be human versus animal versus other?
Well, all of them have looked humanoid, including the ones that led to the dragon. So that was why you assumed the dragon was in humanoid form when they went down.
Yeah.
Because most things when polymorph revert to their natural form when knocked down.
Alright, and which way did Draconic want to go?
He was suggesting north, Autolycus was suggesting west, and you've already been east, and you've come from the south.
So Draconic wants to follow the prince.
He wants to follow the
Well,
double set
okay.
prints.
You're suggesting that the stairways down to the east and west lead to entombment zones,
Yeah, like we've discovered.
whereas
Yeah.
which they've looked at but no one returned from. One person went down but no one returned. And now there were two paths leading directly onwards from our current pathway.
So you want to follow
The problem
the
is that they lead into the blackness. So I'm suggesting that if we want to follow the archaeologist, if we want to get to the archaeologist fastest, we should continue northwards following the pair of tracks into the darkness. But if the archaeologist has once again left one of her followers for dead, in rabbit ears, down another of those tombs, then potentially we wish to rescue what could be another dragon down that set of stairs.
And is Autolycus suggesting we follow this down the steps or go a different way into
The stairs.
The stairs.
That's
Okay.
a single set, isn't it?
Because
I sort of agree with Draconic with the fact is the chances are the single set's the...
Another follow.
yeah, so I agree. For Calcrix, she would prefer to try and save it potentially if it's another dragon, but she doesn't object to either path. So whichever the greater consensus leads, I will follow along. Although I am a little bit more drawn to saving the the potential dragon. Or
Let us at least go down the stairs
Yeah.
to see if
Yeah.
there's anyone that can be saved.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the plan.
It's not far to get down, not far to get back.
To be honest, even if it wasn't a
Assuming
dragon,
it's the
Calcrix
same
would be for
pattern
saving
as
them.
the other side.
Yes.
Okay, so who's heading down first?
I would probably send either Autolycus or Dracnomar because both of them are good with traps.
And finding
Yeah,
stuff.
Draconic is more a bowman, isn't he?
The only concern is how much light is there going down the stairs.
Well, I can see...
I can cast anything from dancing lights to lighten up something that you've
I've
got.
got the goggles of darkness, so I can see in the dark.
Cool.
That's what I'm getting at. Dracula is happy to lead down and walk carefully down the stairs, but that would involve taking light. If we want to go more cautiously, or less obviously, then Autolycus should lead, because he doesn't need the light to actually
Okay,
avoid
Autolycus
danger.
can give me
So-
an investigation roll as he's coming down this.
I was going to say, you're up for number 1.
I do love the difference between investigation and perception.
Yes.
That's a 12 on the dice, which
Yeah,
means
perception is finding it, investigation is working out what the hell it means.
investigation plus 11, so it's 23.
Okay, you can identify that this is a mirror to the room you found the dragon in. In the middle of the room, you can see what appears to be some sort of paladin by their artwork on their shield, with a hole through the shield.
And through them.
A hole through the shield, where it looks like one of the stone darts went straight through.
Does he appear to be breathing?
You can also see what looks like 3 scorpions on top of him. Hard to tell with those scorpions moving about, and he may have been here for a while.
How many scorpions? 3.
I guess yes. The first part of that question of whether he's breathing is the question of, okay, there's a hole in the shield where the dart went through. Did the dart continue through his chest?
That's what I asked. I said,
You can't tell from this angle, not until you go out there. You do know you do know the pattern. You can walk out there, but you may end up in a fight with some scorpions.
I'm going to sneak.
And when we're saying 3 scorpions, what size scorpions are we talking about?
These are about hand-sized, but all you see is the silhouette of the scorpions. You can tell it's a scorpion, but they're just a silhouette to your eyes.
So it could be something more than just a...
Normally you'd get some form of definition, even a glint. There's just an outline.
I'll head back and report.
Demonic shadow scorpions.
So there's some sort of... It could be alive, it could be dead. I do not
Yeah.
know. I couldn't tell without going into the room, but if the chances are...
And considering the darts you saw, you can understand how those darts could go through metal.
So he could be dead, or he could just be...
What about just calling down to him and see if you get any of
Either way, it looks like taking light down there is not going to interfere with our being noticed. If it's just scorpions, then they can probably see the dark quite effectively anyway. Taking light source down there so we can have a better look and see if the scorpions come towards us up the stairs before we actually enter. We can look at that option.
Well, I was going to say...
Okay, bringing the light source down, using your dark vision, you see as the light hits them, they just fade away. They don't even appear in the light.
So it's either an optical illusion or they're invisible now.
No, you think from inside they're probably going to exist in shadow and darkness. They can't exist in light.
Right. So
What's the outlook? Is
Let's
there outlook
make sure
on
the
this
lights.
chamber?
Let's make sure the lights don't go out.
There is. Looking at this chamber, they have a lot of stuff here relating to spirituality and the soul.
So how far, like I'm picturing basically we've gone down a flight of stairs into a larger room, or there's a larger room space at the
A
base of the
15 by
stairs.
15 foot room
Paladin is on the floor.
in the center,
How far away from the edge of the stairs?
10 feet.
And the layout of the room, and doing a look around for the traps and the pressure plates and things like that.
Is an exact
Does
mirror
it gear
to
set up in the same way?
it's an exact mirror to the other one you were in,
Yep.
and including the fact that the 3 corners that don't have a passageway heading off it have a statue, which would have fired the darts.
We'll have a careful check as we go towards you for traps, just in case. I'm not going to rely on the fact that it's a mirror. They haven't mixed it up a bit.
Yes.
And give me an investigation as you have a look. Sometimes they do mix it up, and other times, as long as you know the pattern, you'll save.
At
Yes.
20.
20. Looking at it, it does look an exact mirror.
Okay. Yeah, no.
You've even checked, and the only places that mirrored the other ones.
Well, we may need our medic to have a look at the paladin.
I have.
Dracula's certainly happy to go and have a look, go through and get to the body to have a look, or the
You have medicine.
I have cure things, but I suspect the cleric has better ones. And that's Dracula.
Yeah, I've got specific training in doing medikit things, but that's as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is Dracula going to do?
and people are getting up to the body, hopefully not corpse, but body, and we'll examine it and aid to see whether it's still alive.
It has a symbol of a rose on the shield and the iconography of Al-Qadim.
Sword soft! Oh no! He's
So,
gonna drink.
There's also recognising that if the poison is the same on the darks and it was strong enough to put a dragon to sleep, it's probably strong enough even to kill a paladin.
Actually, I think paladins are more resistant to dragons than pretty much most things. Depending on how powerful they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, is there evidence that the body is alive or not?
you check. The body is alive. It is unconscious. Seems to be in deep sleep, from what you can tell. It got scratched by one of the darts. You can see where part of the clothing is ripped, but he didn't actually get hit directly.
So you got a microdose. That's a very term, isn't it? Microdose?
Yeah, I think this is a bit more than a microdose.
I don't know, it was tough enough to take a dragon down. It's a microdose on a human.
Yeah, I think that my vague memory from the last session was that someone did a bit of alchemy to wake up the dragon, didn't they?
They did.
Yes.
So, in fact, Emma's suggesting that
we do it again.
a couple of people, I'd suggest actually taking the body back up the stairs and
Out
into
the front.
the cross area before actually doing examination.
Yeah.
A human-sized body is a lot easier to try and move than the dragon was to be.
Calcrix is happy to carry him.
Okay. Picking the guy up, you manage to get him up to the main entry passageway.
Yeah.
And
Which will now give you more opportunity to not worry about illusionary or otherwise shadow scorpions or things like that.
Yeah.
To do the work needed. So I can't remember whether Dracula was the one that did it, or my vague thought actually was Calcrix used alchemy type stuff, wasn't it?
I believe so. Could Dracula give me a medicine roll?
Medicine?
As you're the one who's currently tending to him.
28.
28. Okay. Looking at him, you recognize the fact that he is under a cursed sleep.
So we're looking for a handsome prince.
Or whatever was the cure for that time.
What is it? Cure wounds? Is that
That will heal physical damage,
okay?
not a curse.
Yeah.
That takes remove curse.
Oh, let's examine. We may have to actually go further and examine the murals.
Yeah.
If it sounds like a spiritual
But
sleep.
you think the same thing hit the dragon, but the dragon didn't fall under the curse.
Yeah, he was just hit with poison. But this is both.
Do any of the spellcasters ever remove curse forever?
I did have a remove curse. I used it to make someone get a puppet off their hand.
Yep.
Did you want to remove curse from?
He doesn't have any left.
Oh, okay.
That's what he was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if it's
Technically, Lull and Tidal actually also had one of those pins. I don't know if they still do. Obviously, Tidal doesn't have it, but whether Lull actually still has the pin, and whether or not he wants to use a god level remove curse to actually help a random NPC.
yeah, it's on my list as in it is a warlock spell. However, I do not presently have it set up, and it does not have a cast time that
What
makes
level
it
is it?
conducive. Third. It doesn't have a cast time that makes it conducive to being a ritual. Strictly, given what it is, it should be a ritual, even with a 1 round cast time. But
Some of those will eventually make it over. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have
But that's up to your call.
curse in my spell list. What does that mean?
Either
That
way,
means you can learn it, but you
he's
don't
going to be safely resting up here at the present time. We could continue.
Okay.
If
Leave him under the care of
yeah,
Murray and
yeah. What type of spellcaster are you? You're a sorcerer type or wizard type or cleric type?
I am the dragon type.
Okay. Yeah, they're a sorcerer.
Fairly certain.
So I'm
Yeah.
guessing I'm
I could be
sorcerer.
wrong, so I don't
Yeah.
know enough about.
That's right. It means you can't redo your set of spells at will the way a wizard can or a cleric can.
So Martin's
Well,
just
clerics
kind of
will
got
be
things
able to
like
still
gift
have
of the
those
spell
rules.
singer here.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah, they're sorcerer type, aren't they? Yeah, which means you only change spells when you level. As against a cleric or wizard, you can change it in the morning.
Yeah, but clerics are a lot more
So
flexible.
does that
because they
mean-
can
Oh, yeah.
choose anything.
How do
Well,
I
that's the whole
gain
point.
if these
Yeah.
spells are in my spell list? How do I gain them?
Well, those ones you know everything. That's
Right.
in that everything that's printed as a spell there. You know.
Yeah, but if it's in this spell list,
It's in the spell list. You can forget a spell you know to learn that
Okay.
if you take time to do so.
Yeah.
okay.
But you have to forget a known spell to learn that.
Yeah, that's a point. How long does it take a sorcerer to redo that?
It takes them probably about a week to level a spell.
Yeah. It's not too far different from can only change you when you're leveling, which is when a warlock can change them.
And is that true of all the spell lists that aren't like that, like these ones?
Yes, that's a true of all of those.
Yeah.
And can I only do that when I level up, or?
When you've got time, you can choose to do so as well.
Yeah.
You have a low downtime, we just do it as you level.
Yeah, but you can do things like I'm leveling, so I'll get a new spell, but I'm also going to spend some of my downtime to reset half my spell list.
But you get one free switch as well.
Oh yeah, that's the thing is you get the one from the level, plus you can do other ones by spending
No,
time.
you generally learn one as you level, but you
I
can
know,
also swap
I know.
one out.
Yeah. So you learn one from that. You can switch one out, but you can also spend time to do other ones as well. Warlocks can't. They've also got a shorter list.
Okay, so
the
yes,
dragon had been let out, or is it waiting around this area?
the dragon had been let out, basically to stop it triggering any of the traps that may still be active.
Greg was suggesting that he's safe here.
Yep.
He's stable.
Yep. Move on.
We may as well keep moving at the present time.
Yeah. Well, we've got no way of removing the curse easily.
Well, not right now.
Let me give Lull another insight roll.
Yeah, and then maybe not useful.
You're not quite sure.
Yeah, I didn't break 15.
I still think there may be an answer down the passageway.
Yeah.
You want to go down and see what's down the length of the passageway?
Well, I think Jeffrey wants to move on
Yep.
to try and find
Certainly, from Greg perspective, we've done the purpose of that detour is
Yep.
to recover the follower.
Yeah.
Now we should keep going down to find the archaeologist, and then we can later find the archaeologist. Then we can determine whether it's worth actually conducting the sacrilege of desecrating the tombs.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was actually more thinking that because that one with the paladin was down in was spirit related, it may have the answer to the curse.
Yeah.
It may well do. I've got no problem with that too.
And as he doesn't seem in any danger of dying, is why Dracula was saying we can leave him for the moment.
Alright, well we'll just
Yeah.
go after the archaeologist.
He's okay-ish at the moment.
So as you reach the blackness to the north, you realise this is another arcane seal.
Okay.
So how did we break the last one?
You step through it.
Yeah.
I suppose
You didn't break it.
I suppose
Yeah.
I would guinea pig. That's right.
You step through it.
Tough and capable and fast.
As you step through it, you basically feel your vision goggles flicker on and off as you step through.
Are you intending to step through and step back, or are you expecting everyone to follow you?
Magic nullification.
Once they start flickering, I'll step back and advise.
They flicker back on again after flickering for about a few seconds.
So I think I'm going to need to take a light source in.
It isn't magical. Yes.
But
So you couldn't see anything when you stepped through?
because
You think you saw structure and passageways, but it could also have been your imagination because you couldn't focus on it.
well, I couldn't really. I think there was passageways, but with the way my goggles were playing up, I can't be certain that wasn't my imagination rather than actual visual.
Yeah.
So I'll step back through once I light the torch.
Okay, stepping through with a lit torch. You see what appears to be an atrium with two passageways heading left and right.
So similar to what we was done the other way.
Both with stairs going down. Everything seems to go down here.
There's no
In front of you is what looks like a mural of an Ifriti restrained by two genies in 3 dimensions.
How is an Ifrit different to a genie?
In most cases, the Ifriti is a fire elemental, and when most people refer to genies in D&D, they represent air elementals.
and you
Okay,
get
yeah.
your marine sewers, your water elementals, and
Yeah, it's elemental association.
what's the earth one? The
Marids, another Marids of the water.
Yeah.
Marin's water.
I can't remember the earth
The
one.
Jin is air. Ifrit is fire.
I cannot remember the earth.
No. Oh, Deo?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the
Deo
one.
is it.
Yes. So yeah, they're different elemental associations, the same way Genasi are.
You know,
And
'cause I was-
there is a shadow-based one as well in this set.
yeah, because I was recently looking at the Warlocks, and when you got the genie ones, one of the options is there's 4 elements, but it's 5 here.
There was also one on the way for G. So, those statues don't appear to be static.
So it's like the 3-dimensional picture is alive.
It's like the 3-dimensional mural is moving, but ever so subtly, enough for you to see.
Okay, I'm going to put my arm through and say,
Okay.
good up.
Do the thing.
It doesn't look like, but we'll check around the steps for traps without actually stepping off the dais
Yeah.
or the entrance.
Okay, looking around, you can see what appears to be footprints heading east and heading west as the 2 sets split up.
So she came down here with 2 sets again.
Oh, she went north with 2 sets, and one went east and one went west.
So what I'm guessing is the paladin was sent down to check. When he didn't come back, she went the other way.
Well, they all went off in different directions, going to try to map out the place that's being abandoned for so long, not realising it's full of traps.
Or she's not caring about it and they're not.
I'm not a very good archaeologist because you should always
No.
assume traps
Yes.
in ancient tombs from an ancient civilization of god-level mages.
Yes. Assume traps. Be pleased when it isn't.
I think that's a trap. As soon as these guys step up, pointing at the thing,
Martin.
going, I think that's a
Do
trap.
you have an available PowerPoint?
They do. There should
Is
be
there any
a,
notable
one
difference
running
between
on
the
there
traps?
or right behind you next to the
Well,
dragon.
the thing is, the
No, there is. Okay. No, there's one here. Thank you.
the thing is, this image here looks like it's moving slightly.
Ah.
3D. So I'm suspecting it's some sort of trap, but I don't have the arcane knowledge or ability to discern potential. Because it looks like it could be a magical trap.
Okay.
So it was a Dijin and a.
Doesn't look like a specific Dijin, but looks like a depiction of genies,
Yeah.
which is very generic.
Yeah.
But two generic-looking genies restraining a fire Ifrit.
Yeah.
And genies are the air ones.
Genies represent the entire lot of those things, but more often they use it to pick the Djinn.
Yeah.
So I mean, is the big Djinn or just the generic?
Yeah.
It's a very poor representation of the Djinn, but a very accurate depiction of the Ifrit.
Which is what makes me suspect it's a trap. Like, just because of that detail, the fact that the Djinn are very vague, and not, whereas the Ifrit. One of these magical.
You mean insight roll for your character?
Oh god! Actually, that's something I'm good at.
Do you see any difference between the the pair of tracks?
22.
Like leading into this place? So presumably, one of them is a human female, and the other is something.
Well, the one to the the one to the west is lighter than the one to the right.
Okay.
Right.
And he to be wearing that same style of boots or shoes?
Same style of boots seems to be on all of them.
Okay.
So 22 mark.
22. Okay, so from what you imagine looking at these diagrams, the Nithian people were very deeply into the fire culture. And not as deeply into the air, earth or water.
Which is why they focus more on the freak rather than.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just does seem odd to me. Even though we're super focused, it seems like a bit of a cop out.
Think of it along the lines of a depiction of an angel and depiction of demons restraining an angel. The angel might have a high level of iconography, whereas the demons around it can be very subtle and not a lot of detail put in there.
Yeah, so it's a strong suit.
But it's enough for you to notice that level of differentiation
Okay,
is that they are honouring the fire element.
Yeah, I know. I'm still suspicious of it, though.
Even though it is known that the Afriti are not friends of people.
But these guys, we don't know much about this Nithian society, do we?
The knowledge of the society is lost except for these tombs.
Yeah, so we don't know what relationship they may have had with these fire things before the disaster that fell their society.
Yeah.
But this makes you think that they were friendly towards the Afriti.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of the present party members know more about Nithian society than most people, and we know like a page.
Well, what do you guys think? Should we? So from this room, there's footprints going forward, and are they the lighter ones that attract me, or
there are light footsteps going west and heavy footsteps going east.
Right. And neither of them are coming back.
And it was the T-junction, wasn't it?
It was the T-junction.
Yeah.
And the Afriti and the genies represent the T of the junction.
Right.
Yeah.
so we're going to past whichever one.
But yeah, where have we found, or we're just assuming there's a trap at the junction?
I said, I feel that magically in my head, looking at I assume it's like religious iconography. If these guys like the fire element, the reason the Ifrit's are still jarring to me, but I've been in church enough to know, yeah, you're right, that anything that's not what they worship or are favourable to.
What they focus on is important as what they don't focus on. And from a Theatan church perspective, it's all about balance, but air is the most important.
So anything like if it was Theatan, the Jinn, which for example would be highly detailed. And the Theatan church would be like the angel and the demon sort of vague. So I don't think it's a trap, but don't quote me on that.
Well, certainly approach it cautiously and looking for traps on the way through. And I would interpret that we should go to the west, i.e. left.
Well, you're at a track.
It's likely that the lighter footsteps are the female human, as opposed to things like dragons or... I'm sure it was a male paladin that we found before, wasn't it?
It was.
Was the dragon male as well?
The dragon was female.
Okay, cool. So I was just trying to work out
that's probably still heavier when it's in human form than a standard human female.
No, I was just going on the fact that there's the archaeologist have a thing for the boys. And tricks them doing stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Alright, so you're going to follow a lot of footsteps.
So as you, the last of you steps onto the stairs, behind you the passageway fills with fire.
But not where we are, but just behind us.
Behind you, so it's now a wall of fire. You can feel the heat down the passageway.
Great.
So it's got the fireside's on our side.
Is it following us, or is it moving
You
towards us?
You watched it go across the passageway.
Sure. So it came across like a wall, not following us.
So it's basically forcing us to go forward, we can't go back.
Yeah.
Without going through it.
You're thinking that there was a trap there.
You've just got delayed in its release.
Oh no, you don't think it was delayed, you think it was
Triggered by somebody else?
Or it could
Maybe.
just be that was waiting for us to step in the room and trap us in here.
Some traps are to stop people getting out.
Yeah.
And leaving you in the more dangerous areas.
Yes. It's a control trap rather than damage trap.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the wall of fire is still there and it's staying there.
It appears to be staying there.
Okay. And when you say it's basically taken the place of what was a wall of darkness as we came through.
Not the wall of darkness, the top of the stairs that went west that you're following. So the smaller, when you start to go, last person steps on the stairs.
Okay, sorry, yes, so we're past the T-junction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as the last person stepped on the stairs, the
it's a pretty smart trap.
open behind them still open.
So there must be like pressure plates all the way along, so we recognise that the last person stepped off.
Doesn't need to be pressure plates.
Or a magical detector.
Yes.
Could actually be a living Atruaghin embedded in the mural.
Yeah, actually there's...
Oh, we should check.
Yeah, mechanically, the simple one is you have forward pressure plates that are relatively narrow, and as the last one goes past the point, as you step off it, it activates.
What we really need here is someone who can cast banishment to just go, Elspeth, I'm banished here free. Oh shit, that worked! Yeah, but we didn't. I just thought of it just then.
Yes.
But it wasn't my place to figure because I'm not a spellcaster.
Oh no.
Okay.
Either way, we're not trying to go back right now.
No.
As you're walking down, you see a passageway branch off to the right, very much like the one you followed previously with artwork down it.
What's the artwork?
The artwork down here is various arts and music and musical instrument designs you've never seen before.
Okay.
Whereas the footprints lead straight on.
Yeah, quick question, guys.
Yeah.
Is anyone here a musician?
What was that, sorry?
Do we have a musician or an artist?
In my list of things that I'm putting into my downtimes is learning an instrument and learning to sing.
Just like people at Subway as sandwich artistes, technically Calcrix is a coffee artiste.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't think that I don't see any baristas or mixologists on the
I'm
artwork.
fairly
Do I?
sure that if she set up her cold
You could-
brewing equipment and did an
You do
offering
the
of coffee.
do the full on.
Again, it would appear the archaeologist has gone straight ahead though, so we probably don't need to placate the guardian of the tomb.
But more
At least-
seriously, I have
that
jewel
one.
crown,
Yeah.
so I can
Yes.
do fancy things with jewels.
Yep.
That's arts, yeah.
Yes.
Alright, let's follow the way.
But yes, like I'd be like heading for where
Yes.
the footsteps are going.
Okay. Following the footsteps, you only go another 15 foot from the branching when you realise that you found another dark field portal.
And the footsteps go right up to it and through it.
Yeah.
You can see one of the footsteps is crossing through the portal.
And I'll step through again, I suppose, with my dark goggles on.
Okay. You step through. Give me a reflex saving throw.
Ah, shit.
Hey, better you than almost anybody else.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let's try that again. Looks like I haven't seen the dice. Could have been 20 for all I know. That's a 12 on the dice. I'm going to change those dice out for something that I can see better. But I love those dice.
One of the reasons why I have dice this big is for that reason.
Yeah.
No, it's more the fact that because it's a dark metal with a light coloured.
That's what I mean.
Well-
that dark dice with very light coloured thing.
Yeah.
Hey Google, table light on.
It's also dimmery.
21.
21. Okay, so you find
There you go.
yourself. But the reason I don't have light on that often is I do have light sensitivity.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough.
So, you feel something try to grasp at your face as you pull yourself back out, and people see a scratch right across your face,
Ooh, there's an effect on the other side.
and and they can see basically steam coming off those scratch marks.
That didn't hurt me.
You didn't feel anything. It's just a thing of as if someone just ran their fingers across you. That's all it felt like.
Okay. From a metagaming point of view, my character knowing himself, I managed to pull my face away before it actually hurt. I felt a little bit of pain, and
You managed to pull out, but its slight caress left its mark.
Yeah.
my whatever my rogue special ability kicked in.
Yes.
Okay. And I couldn't see anything.
It was completely blank, as if your glasses had shut down.
I'm going to go step back through with a torch, and my one hand, my sword in the other.
Okay.
Did you have any explanation? Like, hang on. Was
Something.
there no landing on the other side?
There was a landing.
I could do my sphere of resilience.
You can be the hamster going in.
You know, I trust my one of the others who may not be as adept at avoiding.
Well, I like the idea of Tolkis the hamster.
I don't.
Thanks. Now he's never going to accept me.
Got some bad news for you. I was never ever going to accept it.
That doesn't make me feel much better.
No, offer to turn him into honey badger, he'd probably go for that.
Oh, you turn me into like a. I'd like to look like Nick Cummings for the ladies. Anyway, sorry. I'm going to step through.
Sorry, what's this?
Honey, Nick Cummings, who's one of the bachelors, who's a real tosser.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I know who
So
you're
give me a
talking about.
reflex saving.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah, do I see anything?
I
this
don't.
time?
We'll give you the reflex
It's a
saving for it first.
footballer who's called the honey badger.
Oh, well, that's much better.
Because
So, same number
honey
actually.
badgers are supposed to be
Same number?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
you step
And
through
smart
with the
asses and assholes.
torch
Yeah.
that
And he's all
fleet blackness through there. As something also reaches at you again, I'll give you a perception roll this time.
Okay. And I'm going to go to my dice box in a second and get the dice. Oh, 17 on the dice.
You see a regular far off to the left as you pull back, and now there's a claw mark on the other side of your face.
Okay, regular. Left. Okay, but now it's information.
And your torch provided absolutely no light at all in there.
That's the thing we want to check. Okay, so here's what's on the other side, guys.
Right.
The torch provided no light as well, so it's not just a magical. There's a magical darkness on the other side.
Right.
So, unlike the other ones, this is not a magical wall of darkness, this is a magical area of darkness.
It's a zone of darkness, yes.
So potentially a daylight spell or another high-level light spell might dispel it, but we don't know what level the spell of magic is.
Or might shut it down while it's running.
I do have daylight.
Okay.
Checked
And
that before.
what attacked you?
I don't know. It was claws again, but there was a red glow. How far in was it?
Well, you think it was at least 20 to 40 feet?
Yeah, so 20 or 40 feet away from the edge, so I caught a brief flicker of a red glow.
Depending on how big the glow was.
Yeah, I'm not 100% certain. Like the darkness really did.
There's a bring.
I'm presuming having that background with Queen of Darkness and that, if I were to do like an Arcana history check, it wouldn't be particularly insightful.
Give me an insight check.
Okay, Tim will have a look at the marks on his face to see if he can determine what sort of animal or creature might have done them,
Yeah.
and or if he recognises the.
Sorry, just had Arcana here. Here
Insight.
it is. Oh, Insight, sorry. I had that right in front of you too. So yeah, it's like
You do remember there being some sort of thing about creatures that exist in darkness? And looking at the markings on Telecus's face, the claw tips are about the width of a finger.
alright.
So whatever it is not small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we think that the archaeologist is in here?
Well, that's what-
The track lead to this location.
Tracks through these two.
What's the target of the daylight spell?
Alright. I'm just looking it
It's
up.
an area.
Yeah, but could you cast it on an object or
And throw
that's
it.
one? No.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll look.
there's no point throwing it in. Like one of us is going to
Oh,
have
this
to
might
step.
be in that spell list.
One of us is going to have to step through to see what if the daylight does anything.
Yes.
And again, unfortunately, for Telecus, he's the best choice.
There's no.
You can cast it on an object or a location.
So if you cast it on a rock or something like carry
Yeah.
in. Because I don't really want to step into this darkness unless we can get a much better idea of what's on the other side. Because none of us can see in there.
Yeah.
You don't have double sight, do you?
No.
What level's daylight though?
That's. I'm looking it up.
Daylight is level
it's-
3.
Yeah, because it's not.
Oh, level 3, okay.
But if you not cast it, should.
Yeah, it's one of
But
those
it's not-
ones that I
And what's the minimum level normally of a continual darkness?
Not in
switch out. And
level up, so
is that something you have, or is that something you have to switch
Daylight is in level up.
I just look for it to level up.
It is on page 528.
I'm looking at the website,
Okay.
and I looked up daylight, and there wasn't anything. And I looked up light, and it's not on the list. At least not as a wizard spell.
Well, it's a cleric, druid, herald, sorcerer.
That would be why. Daylight, 3rd level. Range 60
Right.
feet.
Whereas darkness is 2nd level. So daylight would work if we had it, but I don't think we'll have it.
I'd have to switch it out.
Which
it's-
takes
3 weeks.
time. Yes.
Well, that sort of sucks. Ben, what I'm gonna.
Do I get any feel for anything, any other sort of like in terms of that darkness and things? I don't have like. No, I'm pretty sure I don't have that.
Do you have Dispel Magic or
Would-
Counter Spell?
I was
I
about
do
to say,
have Dispel Magic,
would
and that's why I'm
Dispel-
like, can you like, is that like a, that darkness, is that like a magical darkness? Is that something that
If
can
it
be
is,
dispelled?
it could be, but it may not last.
The problem we're going to have is it means you're going to have to step into the room, which means potentially.
I don't have a problem with that. Can I cast Resilient Sphere on myself?
Mm-hmm.
You can.
Does Resilient Sphere stop
I do
you
have
from
Dispel
using
Magic in
inside
my
it?
book
I
here.
don't believe so.
No.
It's fine. That's just something to check.
It creates a force field around you.
So would I be able to do Resilient Sphere and
It
then
does
step through
restrict
and
you
cast
from
Dispel
some
Magic?
Give me a sec.
Yeah, it's like I know she would know exactly what a spell does. So just worth checking before we.
So it makes her immune to damage, spell effects, physical objects. Nothing can pass through. They can still breathe, but you can't throw spells outside of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's why it really is a hamster ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't cast that and then cast Dispel Magic. I have to cast Dispel Magic.
Well, you could, but it would dispel you into your sphere.
It only work inside the sphere, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So the problem is you'd have to step through and risk taking the damage from the whatever it is, and then cast the spell in the darkness.
Calcrix puts Grindelwolf to one side, looks up at Eep. Do you want to come through with me?
Eep shakes his head.
I take Eep off and pass Eep to Grindelwaffle, step in and cast Dispel Magic.
Eep is a smart maneuver.
Eep has really done anything not smart. And just as you're about to step in, you hear a, "Hey, go on!"
I pause. I look back at Eep and I'm like, do I need bigger weapons to go in here?
Infidel shall die!
Alright, I need bigger weapons.
What am I'm going to risk it. I'll step through and I'll see if I can actually find the trigger for the claws.
Your bigger weapon is volunteered.
Well,
Yes.
you do have Calcrick standing at the doorway at the moment.
Okay, just give me a second and I'll see if I can work out what's triggering the effect so we can maybe you can step in to spell the darkness without. Because I have no idea how damaging it is because I'm like a leaf on the wind. No, damn, I'm dead now. Because I've said the cursed words.
Okay, so we'll see how the wash comes out.
Oh God!
See what comes out in the wash.
That's yeah.
Too soon. Too soon.
Always too soon.
Okay, so Tolicus steps in.
I'm like a leaf on the wind. See how I saw.
As he feels something try to bite you.
I'm going to try and not be bit. Do I know where the bite came from?
Well, you can feel hot breath on you.
Okay, it didn't hit me though, did it?
It didn't. Came close though.
It's fine by me. I'm going to start searching for...
You think it got stopped by the walls around and the floor around you?
Oh. That's
So it's coming out of the wall or the floor?
You think the wall, the floor beneath you and the wall behind you, its teeth got stuck on.
oh.
Wish I hadn't done that
So
because I
it's
could
big.
have cast Protection from Good and Evil on you, which would have probably helped.
I want it. Because if it hits me, I can use my reaction to stab it back. I won't have advantage and get a sneak attack, but I will be able to basically take out the disadvantage for... I'm going to try and see if I can find a mechanism or something that's triggering the... I know I'm going to have...
You see that the glowiness is moving toward you from the other end of the room. Bobbing. And as it's moving toward you, it seems to get taller and taller.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a chance to have a quick look to see what triggered the...
Yeah. Can you see in magical darkness and invisibility?
No.
Then
Okay. I'm going to back through the wall.
okay, give me a reflex saving throw.
The wall freaking triggers it. What's that on the dice? Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Yes,
That is fantastic.
that,
I was just seeing what the symbol was because
yeah,
it wasn't a 20.
It's the accent.
So yes, you come back and fall over and roll to your feet as there's just steam all down the front of you. No marks this time. Just the marks that were there previously.
Okay.
And you hear "Die, infidels!" from the background.
be investigating the darkness.
He's not. He's going to say it 4 or 5 more times.
Do I have any insight as to what it means when Eep changes to dying infidels or death to the infidels?
Someone's going to do something that's particularly stupid.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Cool.
So going in there is particularly stupid.
Or the wrong person went.
Okay, alright. So,
I told him what happened. There's something you need to try to buy me. And
I look at Eve and then I look at Claw and I'm like, perhaps we need a warlock. Or a warlock?
Yes.
Perhaps we need a warlock for this situation, Eve. What does Eve say? Well, if she says by Gorm, we're right, and if she says death to the infidels, it's the wrong choice.
The infidel shall die!
And if she says anyone but me,
I'm like,
she's getting better.
Well, did say different things for Trolicus and for the Lull.
yeah,
Said the infidel shall die, and said death to the infidels when it was you.
me. Okay, so I put Eve aside, and I'm like, I will. Can I cast invisibility on myself?
Yes.
If you've got it, yes.
No, that takes an hour.
Unless it's
I'm just trying to check on the things that
Yeah. One is protection from
your
door.
attunement of
invisibility
make
lasts.
items each day.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I cast invisibility on myself then.
And what was that, Jeremy?
Attunement of items each day.
Yep.
Can that be changed only with a long rest or can it change with a short rest?
Every long rest, but if you've got things that have quicker attunement, you can change it during short rests.
Okay, right.
And from memory, not a lot of things have quick attunement.
Well, unfortunately, one thing that I do know has quick attunement is my ring of fire resistance.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's Dimitri's ring of fire resistance as opposed to Jack Miller's ring of fire resistance.
Right.
They've got different ones.
So you cast invisibility on yourself?
Yes. And then step through.
Okay, you step through, you see what appears to be a large chamber with many columns heading down to a big altar to the south. And standing just inside the portal is what appears to be a part human, part hyena, demonic creature.
Does it show any signs of seeing me?
And it does remind you of things you saw underneath the lost city with the Queen of Darkness, as others of her servants.
Right. At the, do I see what was the red glowing object that Polycus was seeing? Or just the altar and these...
Well, you can see what appears to be the equivalent of the dancing lights.
Okay. Yeah.
Not giving off any light, but not blinding, not standing out that much.
And I can't see any sign of the archaeologist.
Give me a perception roll.
Oh, this is one time I really hope that my dice don't beat me. It's 11 plus, I think. It's plus 7. So 18. Which is just one higher than my passive perception. Yeah. I think I've read that right. Let me just double check I've added that up correctly.
Your perception should be plus 7.
Yeah, so I did read that right. There's just a lot of numbers in that line. Like there's passive perception and then there's like brackets and yeah. Alright, so yeah, 18.
18. Okay, you see what looks to be a robed figure in the middle of the room.
I will approach the rogue figure.
Give me a stealth roll. Visibility doesn't hide you from the noises you make.
No, it doesn't. Stealth. So that's a 7.
You see the dragon go fully into the room.
So she must be able to see what it is. She must be able to see.
Stealth is Dex.
Yes.
Where is Dex? Oh, there is 4. So that's 11.
11. And you hear the sounds of the dragon walking into the room.
Does the shadow figure look over at me?
It seems to be following the noise.
Okay.
I
I will drop invisibility then. Kind of no point, I'm guessing. Oh, wait a minute. They know I'm there. It still might be harder for them to hit me, and they don't know what I am yet. So I'll keep the invisibility.
Remember the story of Bilbo and Small?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll keep the invisibility. Did they talk at all? Can I tell anything as I get up closer to them?
Okay, does anyone outside the room know Infernal?
I know Infernal.
The language of demons.
I don't.
Sorry, devils. Language of devils.
Yep. Suspect I should have brought Lull with me. I'm going to eventually say that name right.
Yeah, Infernal is not on his list. The only
surprise.
The only particularly unusual one he's got, or ones he's got, is Draconic and Silver. And Draconic is totally unacceptable.
Surprised I haven't learnt any from Queen of Darkness, to be honest.
Didn't come up with you.
What about you, Jeremy?
No, I can't.
No Infernal for me. But I am probably about to be getting Celestial because I'm planning on activating my Spiritologist aura before stepping through.
Okay. So everyone outside the room hears a booming, unearthly voice that makes your hair stand up. And no idea what it's been saying. It just sounds angry. So think German.
It's a beautiful guttural language.
Well, when you say it from what it sounds like in the classroom, it's worse than a native speaker. So,
yeah, partly because what you get taught is a Prussian.
I take it I don't understand it
so
either.
in the room, you hear a very delighted voice say, "Go, Crix, how are you doing? Long time no see."
Do I recognise the voice?
Not particularly. It just sounds like whoever it is recognizes you.
Okay.
Right.
Well, in that case, I'll...
Or at least knows you from somewhere else.
I will say...
Somewhere else.
Forgive me, I can't place the voice.
Oh, my bad, it says. And it shrinks down to more of a human than devilish size.
Right.
And it looks very similar to how some of the priests looked under the temple.
Yep, one of the Queens of Darkness.
One of the Queens
priests.
of Darkness's servants.
I'll drop invisibility at that point. And I will say, you aren't perchance... I gather this is a temple to the Queen of Darkness?
Yes, this is one of... I've been assigned its guardian.
In that case, I pull out some of my best chocolate-covered coffee beans and offer them up as a offering to the Queen of Darkness.
And the next thing you know, there's a whole dinner tea set on the ground between you.
This is where you
like
actually get to do it before.
How long have you been here?
I was assigned this duty when they built the place. Haven't had too many people to deal with since then, but hey, it's been fun to just wander the plains and come back whenever people show up.
In that case, do you mind if my friends come in?
None of them seem worthy.
I assure you that looks are deceiving. And that they are indeed very worthy people. And we are here questing.
Depending upon the opportunity, except Dracula was basically, having given Calcrix a moment or two to get through, a bit longer, and he's going to take the soul burn and activate his spiritual aura.
So give me a check.
Craft check?
Yep, craft check.
9 plus.
I think the DC is 15.
Do you need to check it?
That's memory's fairly good.
Total of 18.
So yes, outside you see all around Drachnamir light up in green light. Some of you feel a little bit better.
And then he'll attempt to step through the darkness.
Okay, so as you step through, you have this zone around you out to your light radius that you can see, and everything else around that is just black.
Okay.
And you can see tail of Calcrix sitting down somewhere.
Okay, so I came to the tail, Calcrix's tail. Yep.
And Calcrix sees Drachnamir entering this amazing green light around him.
And speaking of my fellow questers, this will be one of them. He is earning the most honourable name amongst our kind.
But he has not accepted the Queen into his heart.
I will eventually get there with all of them, but it takes time.
Still not worthy.
Can I hear the conversation going on?
You hear a lot of Calcrix speaking in a language you don't understand, and whatever it is responding in the same language, but a lot deeper and deep. And
well, I will be aiming to continue to move forward slowly, calling out, Calcrix, are you okay?
I am okay, but I fear that your presence might be showing disrespect to the honoured Queen of Darkness. I shall seek what information I can about the archaeologist I feel alone, for without this fair priest's permission, I do not want to disrespect the Queen of Darkness who is allowing me to be here right now. But I can assure you I am safe, and if I can gain knowledge of where the archaeologist is, I would recommend patience. Does the priest react to that at all?
He's looking at Drachnamir with the look of insatiable hunger, and the eyes just start to glow dark and red. And Drachnamir sees these two little red pinpricks of light appear in the distance as if they're starting to come closer.
I would behest that you are probably too much of a temptation for the priest here, and I would not like to render ill will between myself and the Queen of Darkness.
Did the archaeologist come this way? He's also looking up the ground at the moment. Obviously there's been a few people going through, so track might be hard to follow, but would there have any evidence of the lighter footprints that he saw previously?
Give me a survival roll.
6 plus 13, 19.
You can tell that there was some sort of battle in here with blood and boots, and the same boot print you were following did come into the room.
Yeah, and didn't come out.
Did not come out.
I would say that, well, it certainly seems like someone's come through and not returned.
I will seek to determine where the archaeologist is, and I'm going to put my full attention back on the priest and say, I am, as a part of quest, solemn quest, I am seeking an archaeologist who is venturing through here, who is seeking knowledge to help us in our unified battle, including the Queen of Darkness, against many unspeakable things. I wish, if you have knowledge of the archaeologist, if you could impart to me her location.
Give me a persuasion. As Calcrick said the magic word wish.
That is not good.
Especially in this land where wishes are the most powerful part of the world.
That is not good.
A natural one?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is where I wish I had my rerolls
So,
reinstated.
is this when we do new characters?
Yeah, no, Calcrix might be doing a new character. Yeah, so natural one. Does
So-
she turn like completely black at this point?
No.
Okay. Just more scales.
So,
The
time
wish you
seems
granted, just not in the form you expected it.
time sort of rolls back a little bit as Calcrix is there at the outside of the tomb, cracking it open with a winch of some sort while getting the people who work for you to help pull the door open while you're busily writing down details about it. And you realise you're experiencing the life of the archaeologist as if you're the archaeologist.
Okay, I see. Yep.
And feeling the archaeologist's thoughts as if they're your own, feeling everything they feel as if it's your own.
Right. This sounds like it could be more fun, but it's not. Right. Do I ultimately learn what happens to the archaeologist?
Well, you do, but it takes a while, which is
Yeah.
what the natural one gave you.
Yeah. No, I figured.
Is that
gonna-
the archaeologists are quite agile, was able to jump from statue to statue down the pathway without delaying,
Wow.
as did the
Do I get
people
a sense
below.
of, is the archaeologist a human?
Hard to tell,
Yep. Okay.
because from your perspective, the archaeologist is obviously a dragon because you're a dragon. Just doesn't seem to be as agile as you are.
Fair enough.
But it's still agile enough.
Alrighty.
And then the archaeologist looking at some sort of manuscript that describes the different passageways, and basically assigning each of her followers to go down the ones appropriate to them, because
Each one is most appropriate to the.
not wanting to travel down a path not appropriate to their beliefs, because the traps are supposed to only take out the non-believers, and so
So they're carefully chosen.
chose to, and the idea is they're going to call out when they each reach the gateways, because the legend says that when the 4 gateways are opened at once, the 5th gateway is available.
Okay.
Okay. Do I get a sense that this is the 5th gateway? Do I see what happens as she entered this gateway?
And do you think she, when she was coming this way, she thinks she made the wrong turn,
Right.
as she thought she was going to bypass the a trapped hallway by going down the one that wasn't marked. And then basically you feel yourself getting cut to shreds by an unknown force in the darkness, unable to call out for help.
And is she dead?
And then you feel yourself dying.
And is her body still somewhere here?
You believe her body's still there. You even have the thing of looking down at your body that's sliced and diced.
Okay, like is it irrevocably can't be resurrected dead?
Bodies can be brought back, but there's a lot of damage onto this one.
Okay.
Make whole first, and then you resurrect it, because that works.
Sorry,
What
what?
true resurrection
Make
also
whole.
does it as well.
Make whole,
It's
yes.
the super version of mending.
Yes, yep.
Not sure if it's in 5th edition.
I'm not sure it is. Or it is, but it's not in level up.
I don't think it's in.
Possibly not.
As I presume I come out of this.
Yeah, you come out of this. No time seems to have passed because Dracomir hasn't moved any further.
Okay, fair enough.
But it feels like about 3 weeks have passed.
Murmur a thank you to the Queen of Darkness for her grace in granting me this knowledge. and ask the priest if I explained to the priest I have hopes of possibly resurrecting this archaeologist. He's incredibly important to our cause. Do you still have her body here, and may I take it with me so that I may attempt to bring her back to life?
Give me a persuasion check. That's persuasion.
Dice jail. Natural one. So it didn't end up too horrible.
Yep.
When Calcrick mentioned that the Queen of Darkness was not necessarily happy enough with her presence here, maybe not others, a 27 on religion, does the Queen of Darkness make sense as part of the pantheon of this place based upon the other markings and engravings that we've seen?
It
Or an
does,
equivalent thereof?
because they seem to, each section is dedicated to one of the spears.
What does persuasion
Yeah.
from
So yeah, so that they were probably worshipping the Queen of Darkness, but not necessarily by that name.
I got a 17.
Well, diplomacy is persuasion.
So, could you say that again, Jeremy?
So they were probably, yeah, the Queen of Darkness was part of their pantheon, but not necessarily by the same name.
Probably not.
Yeah, okay.
Though she did exist, you have heard that she's got a cult underneath one of the complexes in the
So I just had to check he wasn't making a little.
Valley of Death in Yawning,
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
because Calcrix had previously investigated her in the centre of Yawning.
Yeah.
So it would be
What?
charisma added to it at least.
Okay, so I've got a 17 plus 5, so it's 22.
Okay. So you are very convincing to this creature, and it does permit you to take the body out,
Yep.
or what's left of it as it refers to it.
I thank him again, and then, if possible, try to herd Drachnima out of the area as quickly as I can with the body of the archaeologist. Thinking, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the dead body, but at least we came out with something.
From Drachnima's
Mission successful. We found the archaeologist.
Yes.
perspective, you find the female archaeologist who looks to also be a cleric, and grab her silvered crossbow and bolts.
What aspect does element is she going to be a cleric of?
She appears to be a fire aspect. But
I don't know,
also,
can you make
also crossed
hole?
with air.
Hole?
Pardon?
Can you make hole?
Well, there isn't make whole. Mending, you can do a bit, but it depends how little you need.
I meant in terms of resurrecting the poor dead archaeologist.
I can do a revivify.
I suspect we may want to heal
Or
quite a lot.
bring her from back to the dead.
Oh, you can't heal the dead, so she's got to be revivified.
Mm.
Brings her back with like 1 hit point or something
Yep.
silly, and then
Heal.
from there.
But hey, one hit point is massive for me.
But she's got to be willing to come
That's
back
very
from
true.
the dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That Revivify is an amazing spell for what it does.
So
Oh
we
yeah,
both leave
it's a low
without
level raised dead.
any troubles.
And
Well, he's raised dead because you cast at high levels as you go.
and you can
Yeah, but they have to be willing.
Oh yeah.
and I believe you take these ones out. Do you look for what happened to the person who
I was going to say, we've got one, we've got a fourth one to potentially recover.
Do you recover the fourth one before you go out?
Assuming we can get through, is the firewall still there?
I believe the firewall will have gone now that you've
can
retrieved
be-
the body.
Yeah, you can be cut
Okay.
up and sort of chopped up a bit as long as you're not missing anything important.
I'm sure we'll grow back.
For things like hands and stuff, yeah.
You're now a
but-
quadruple
Yeah,
amputee.
you can't. You can't.
But you're alive, and someone can regrow them.
If someone's taken their brain out through the nasal cavity,
Oh, yeah.
you're out of luck.
Yes.
What was
Unfortunately,
the
you're
mission?
true. That's true.
Automatically
mission
fails
to find out what happened to the missing archaeologist?
It was.
Automatically fails if
We found out what happened to the missing archaeologist.
automatically fails if anyone is, if they're missing any body parts necessary for life, like heart or head. But, yeah,
we will
you
find
know
that out,
it's
I
survivable.
presume. I'm more concerned about making sure that we get out without losing Drachnima to the priest, because I'm fairly sure I'm not going to win. Alright.
Okay, so you managed to get into the area with the Ifriti and the generic genies.
Yep.
You want to try your
Ting.
Do we wish to try and find out what happened to the third follower?
yes, we should.
We should, yes.
Though right now I would say that Calcrix would think that an offering of fire might not might bypass the trap.
Okay.
Okay.
She could
Because
technically
because-
offer that, can't she?
Basically, fire was used to block the passageway.
Yes, so that's the indicator for this one.
So I would just make an offering of. We could summon a fire elemental, but I
That
don't know.
actually sounds really useful. I
Yeah.
can do that too.
Yeah.
But in order to spell, I've got an item for it. But I still got a fire elemental.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind if you'd like to do that. I don't mind
Yeah.
you doing that. I'm happy to suggest it.
Well,
I'm sure
so
I feel I've had my hands full. Just
two of them is good.
Yep. That's true. We can have one as a backup.
Yeah.
Where's
I'm just
my
making sure
summon
it's actually fire that I've got.
elemental.
Yes, I do. Razor of elemental fire.
I know, because I keep looking at summon elemental and thinking,
Yes.
is this an appropriate one for this?
Revivify is no use.
It's last minute.
Because it's someone who's just fallen over.
Yeah,
It does actually need a raised dead, which I
It'd be
don't
nice
check
if we
Yeah, because
could.
look at
but-
Raised Dead, I'm going, it's exactly the same wording as River. Oh, hang on.
except for the time. Yeah.
While they're
It
arguing,
doesn't cost
Yeah.
Jack Kimmel can go with some sacred flame upon the Ifrit.
Yeah.
Okay, so as he does so, you see the generic genie burn away, and a bell ring.
Ding. Right.
I offer fire as well.
It's
Torch.
Yep.
Just in case we all have to do it.
It's a loud, continuous ringing. It's a fire bell.
Does it ring when I do the same? Doesn't so just the one person needs to do it. But those are-
Well, it's sufficient.
Well, to
That's
be
right,
honest,
we need
like-
multiple.
Although I'm a white dragon, so I don't technically breathe fire, do I?
But
No.
you do have elemental horns, which can make
Yeah.
your horns red.
Okay, well, I'll do elemental. Yeah.
And you can make it any element.
Well, I can awaken element as well.
Jack Kimmel
But I'll-
will go down the stairs. And we'll
Can she
figure
make
out.
it the element of surprise and then jump on people?
I've got the special position.
Yes.
that
Anyway.
that is.
A dragon with road levels.
Okay, so following
Yes.
the footprints, they head east, and then you see another passageway branching off, much like the other side. And this one seems to have the elements of time and probably life over time. But the
Footprints head down that.
They don't head
Yeah,
down that
that's
pathway. They seem to avoid it and head towards another blank wall. They're like their zones.
Yes.
Suppose I'll step through again. This is a roguey thing.
You step through. You see what appears to be some sort of. You'd probably put it down as samurai sort of desert warrior with glowing scimitar fighting what appears to be multiple large shadowy creatures, and it looks like it's been going on for a long time. The guy is drenched in sweat. You can see he's got a wrench held on the ground nearby.
Oh, what's that?
Rent shield, so claw marks through the shield.
And same sort of style as the other image?
Different images on this one. This one, it has symbology of Proteus, the god of the sea.
So I recognise that. The reason I asked is, is the armoured fighting figure the same sort of in focus as the...
Oh no, this is an actual guy fighting.
Oh, he's actually fighting.
He's actually fighting.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's been fighting for a while.
Right. So, saving him, probably useful.
Well, come on, guys!
They don't hear a thing. And you don't even hear yourself say a thing.
So it's dead silent.
And you're just noticing that you're seeing this guy fighting. You haven't heard this guy fighting.
I pop back out for a attack.
Yep, you pop back out.
Okay, guys.
And you notice you're not even saying anything still.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
So you
I
can
shrug,
gesture.
pull out my sword, and get back in.
Okay, we follow him.
You can make an insight check on that if you want.
I don't think I need to. You've come out, tried to say something, pulled your sword, and dived back into the darkness. We're going after you.
I was going to say, Jack Gibber was not going to give him much time on this occasion. He was going to be following fairly soon afterwards anyway. So.
Yes.
Okay. So the guy you see fighting is using two swords, both curved, and seems to be hitting some sort of shimmering monster that you can't make out the form of. And there's like lots of them in the room, and each time he takes one down, more seems to appear.
And how big's this space?
This base is about 15 foot across with pillars going down each wall, and it goes south about 40 feet to a statue.
I think it went south before we came into this room.
I think it did.
It's a bad one, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And at the end of the room you see what really looks like a what Lull recognizes as the Mythian symbology for birth and resurrection.
Perhaps maybe
I'm
we
going
should
to take note of that for later.
bring our archaeologist here.
Once we've taken care of the thing.
Yes, yes. So what are we fighting precisely again?
You don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
It's an indeterminate creature.
Okay.
And whatever it is seems to strike out and attack without being able to see what it is, but just a shimmering. So imagine the predator moving, and you see that sort of shimmering,
Yep.
and that's the sort of shimmering you see.
Can I cast dispel magic?
Proof invisibility is a bastard.
Does this area have any markings on the wall indicating the type of ritual that would be appropriate to get through? Recognising that assuming this is like the antechamber, the multiples of the version of the trap that we're facing in the other one, but probably not necessarily directly related, but we'll see if there is.
Because if it's got some it's got verbal components, you may not be able to use it in here.
It has So looking at the iconography here, Jeremy, you see it seems to be mostly about the birthing process.
Here's where the advantage of the dog comes in.
Wait, someone get pregnant and give birth, loving the ritual, marvelous.
Yeah, well, that can be done, like, well, getting pregnant part, pretty fast. The
So
having
does
birth part,
Drachnamir think that?
Or does he just think about the practice?
Because he can't actually say it. And what can Lull do with his warlockiness?
I can do Eldritch Blast because it is a special ability, not a spell.
Yeah, meditation.
what's meta magic?
That's what most sorceries get from the dragons.
Oh, yeah, cool.
They get up for advantages instead of meta magic.
No, that's not because if she had the right name, you can still cast it without the opponents.
But yeah, Castle is a sorcerer, not he's a sorcerer.
She gains bulk and abilities, but doesn't get
Yeah.
Because it was meant to be a hero, otherwise it'd be 2 classes at once.
Yes.
And then you go.
Just a little bit.
It's still quite helpful for it.
Yeah. Yes. In fact, I can do healing as well, which I will actually do first. Because my ranged healing is also a special ability that I cast. So, to the gentleman fighting, I point. He gets a line of blue and white sparkly stuff. It looks like possibly glitter with bits of sparks coming.
So usually you go down
But
the
it's-
sparkly line. Okay.
He sparkles.
Fair enough.
I was.
You're an elf, not a vampire.
It was sparkly before, except it was sparkly with flower petals.
Technically,
Ah.
Now give me
Prince
a
believes that elves are
charisma
worse.
saving throw advantage.
Look, I don't have a problem with sparkly elves, more sparkly vampires.
Bit over 20.
Okay.
Several over 20, actually.
So, as he does that, you see the entire room sparkle. Everyone's now sparkling. As everyone seems to be hit by it at the same time. How much does it go?
Oh, I'm maxing it out at this point, so that's 4 dice.
We all just learn from being overhealed.
Everyone glitters with overhealing.
Would creating an element count as giving birth to something?
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Awaken element would be more like giving birth to something.
Yeah, awaken element.
The
That's what
problem
it
is,
is.
though, any of your spells that require verbal, you may not be able to
Yeah.
cast.
20 points of healing.
20 points of Okay, everyone
so much better.
feels so invigorated with life.
Oh, that's good, because that makes exactly what Jack Nibble was down on damage. After the, having been caught in the, I think it was a fireball that Autolycus had set off
So you're
and
still,
evasion away.
so you're
Jack Nibble
still,
took 20 points on it.
so you're still crispy around the edges, though.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, no, he's still glowing around the edges. He's got his 5-foot green sphere around him at the moment.
Yeah.
And
But
you see,
Jack Nibble will be taking a shot at the. So does it look like there's many things, or
Well,
one thing that's difficult to spot and moving fast?
I was going to finish the description of what happened when Lull cast the spell.
Apologies.
Okay, so as it hits all of you, you start filling with light. You see about 20 different forms shimmer, almost like glass, and then disappear.
So that might be a rebirth, enough of a rebirth.
You have a feeling that you can hear sound again. You have a feeling that it required life to get rid of the creatures going on there.
So they acted as if they were dead.
And if you struck them down to kill them, you just kept bringing more back.
Right. So, yeah. Basically shadows.
Like a rebirth sort of thing. I'm just getting back to the bathroom.
Yes. So,
My next was going to awaken element, but you've done it, so we're all good.
yes. A little bit of healing.
Yeah, the second part about this room is because of the sound damping and with this thing.
The sound damping is gone now,
Yeah,
but because of what we had. Yeah.
yeah, you didn't have the ability to cast a healing spell or
Yeah.
a creation spell of some form without.
It's a bastard, yeah.
So that's where you require like a paladin lay on hands.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where it does help to have a paladin, but we don't have any.
Yeah, they had it, but
Paladins
they
in
had
our
him, he got killed first.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just saying that
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
there's a few options other than what he did that we don't have, but we had that option. So
Yeah, the thing is, your standard party, the standard abilities, was probably going to be toast.
it depends. What sort of cleric do we have?
Let's
He's
strap
a
him up.
he's a shaman,
He's a shaman.
Yeah.
which means normal cast stats. He's got cure wounds, so
So it doesn't have the domain. It's almost.
no.
Yeah, you channel divinity?
He has got healing divine.
Okay, but he was his channel divinity.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Jeremy can hear.
I can hear.
Yeah. Using a
And
healing
it's
potion
he
may
does have some healing capability, but yeah,
Yeah.
most of his stuff would require speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Using a healing potion may work.
Or even channel divinity depending on what it did.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
So you'd need life or healing to do
I
it.
gave you many options to solve it.
Yeah.
Without telling you the solution.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Life, death.
Yeah, they're all there.
Each one had a representation.
Yeah.
We could stay ruled to death.
Is there anything
Yeah,
in this
I know,
chamber
that's
that
what someone else did that to
I
me.
might go to resurrection
So,
while the archaeologist?
More importantly, how does the samurai guy react?
He sort of he drops his scimitars and gets to his knees looking exhausted. He may have been fighting for 3 whole days.
Oh. Yeah.
That's a dust of a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Right. So,
He does bear the symbology of the Sultan, and as like the Sultan for all
The
guys.
Yularan
Right.
Sultan? Yeah.
Because they do love their sultans.
yes. So I will do
And you still walk?
first aid
You
stuff.
wish to return to your friends.
What was that, Jeremy?
Exactly what calling out to him. Can you still walk? Do you wish to return to your friends?
In his present state, I can do a restoration on him, which will remove the exhaustion.
He can walk, probably not very fast.
Yeah.
We can escort
And
him.
you may not be able to do restoration without being able to talk. In fact, actually, I can't yell out to him, can I?
No, he seems to have returned now that you have honoured.
Oh, okay, hey.
Yeah, Martin already said we've got sound back.
Because the first thing I did after you did the spell and they disappeared was whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kim is certainly happy to go down and help him stand and help him walk.
Like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So 2 nice big blades.
Scimitar and a Kopesh.
No, so they're Kokesh and a sickle
Yeah.
is closer to what they are, but they look like scimitars to most people.
Yeah.
It's probably the easiest image to conjure to people's minds.
Yeah.
Most
Well,
people don't know what a Kopesh is unless they watch Forged in Fire.
Yeah. Kopesh has the edge on the outside and Sickle on the inside.
Which is one thing I do like about Forged in Fire, is it does show you all these
I like it.
really outside of their swords.
I like it, Emma.
Yeah.
Right, so does he respond to Drachnima?
He does, he nods, saying, with a very thick accent, he would be grateful of assistance.
Oh, anyway, we'll get into his friends so we can start doing it.
I'm looking to see if there's anything here that might help with my dead archaeologist.
You do not think so. I think this is a place they take those to be.
Kim will encourage Autolycus to help the guy up the stairs and go through it while he's having a bit of a look around. Maybe Kim doesn't want to touch it, he's covered in that metal stuff.
Yeah.
It looks more like a birthing chamber than a
Yep. Well,
healing chamber.
rebirth. Yeah. Anyway, that's all good.
Well, the belief of the new thing is where you get reborn back into real life if you haven't said that.
So it's a cycle until you do the right stuff to get out of here.
Until you've done enough to go.
Does that mean
Very.
Whereas the one on the other side would be where those go who haven't done so well, and they go there to die.
Yes. Very, very Buddhist in some respects.
So the shadow area is where people finish out their life, and this area is where they bring new life in.
and was there anywhere where you would be healed?
You wouldn't think that would have been part of their aspect of the
No.
tombs. The
Doesn't sound
tombs
like it.
about life and death, not about
Yeah.
returning.
And about ascending, yeah.
How powerful a cleric are you?
Calcrix thinks about writing to Zal.
Okay, no, you haven't seen Dracula demonstrate particular power in that sort of sense. He provided some shaman powers, but yes, you wouldn't necessarily call him a cleric
Okay.
in the sense of a Tyranny would think of.
So, even though we haven't seen it, are you capable of that kind of stuff?
So.
Not something Drachnima's telling anybody.
Well, no, but that's that one. As a player, it's sort of he's only a 4th level cleric.
Yeah.
So he's only got 2nd level spells at the moment.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
He needs to be a 9th level cleric.
Okay.
Yeah, to be a 9th level cleric, you get 5th level raised. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really close the quick and dirty one that if one of us went down
Yeah.
in a hurry.
It's the combined core.
So now, back at the...
You take them outside.
Yep.
As you take the one who had been hit by the curse out of the front doors, you see...
Before we go further,
Yep.
I was going to say that, Drachima wanted to have a bit of a look down into the in the area where the curse guy had come from, just to see if you can find more evidence of what the curse actually is and how it might be broken before we actually take it out of the tomb.
Okay. So...
I don't know if he wakes up and couldn't step out, or he dies and couldn't step out, but I wouldn't mind at least a chance to stop it.
Okay, so Drachima, give me a Arcana check as you're checking out the icons going down that path.
Unfortunately, Arcana is one of the 2 skills that he doesn't change. He's only got 10 total.
10 total.
He's not recognising the inscriptions or things.
It is symbologies relating to dead and passing on.
So we already
fact,
brought these
actually,
guys back to the entrance.
If he's realising the fact that, hang on, I'm not recognising this immediately, he's going to use Channel Divinity to call upon what's it called? Knowledge of Ages or something? Knowledge of Ages, which basically means he can get he can get proficient in Arcana for 10 minutes.
So while you're doing that, I'll carry on. What were you
We'd already walked all of the people we'd recovered, like the Bronze Dragon and that, to the entrance, but not outside of the tomb.
I assume the ones you got to the entrance went outside, except for the guy who was cursed.
Right.
Because you didn't. You said you were going to leave him in the corridor while you went forward.
Okay.
Yeah, because we didn't want to take him outside because we didn't know what would happen to him.
Okay. All right.
More important at the time was, hey, he wasn't going anywhere, wasn't getting worse, wasn't getting better, we can come back for him.
I just couldn't remember
But before we move him, and so then it's actually a 14 on Arcana, huh?
So was that for a recheck? Because you can do a recheck.
Do you want to re-roll it?
Well, you activated the power after you checked, so you get to check again.
Yeah.
In which case, that's much better. That's a total of 24.
Okay, looking at everything here, this is about honouring entropy and showing that the dead have worth. And the ability for you to show your belief in how the belief of the dead as well. It's got nothing at all about a curse.
Sorry?
It's got nothing at all about a curse or a dark trap.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The other option, of course, is to take him outside the temple and he dies, get all the odds verify him.
And that's fine then, so that means, he basically comes back out to the others and says, okay, he did not see that was obviously the tomb dedicated to entropy, but I could find nothing that indicated the curse, its effect or its removal, so I would suggest it's going to be easier to take it outside to actually see if he wakes up, and or see if there are others who can, even possibly his fellows who are walking through the tomb with him may have more knowledge of the removing curse capability.
So how about one of us pops out and asks them before we take him out?
As a character, I'm not expecting there should be any problem.
Yeah, good point.
So, what does Cartridge want to ask?
The only reason I took that away, I was trying to stop Mark and say what happened before we stepped out was the fact that I think, hey, there might be something, but yeah, as characters I had no reason to suspect that there was going to be a problem either way.
Pick up the first guy. Look at Pop, ask Grindelwald to move aside and pop him up onto the back and start making your way towards the exit, saying we should get this guy back with his friends. At the very least.
Okay.
I mean, 21 on inside Mark, or Religion would be about the same figure. Oh no, Religion would have been 23. But yeah, like, do we have any reason to think that things will change if you got taken out of the tomb?
Potentially, as there is a magical seal over the entryway.
Okay.
It will,
Do we?
you don't know if it's positive. You don't know if it's positive or negative.
Okay.
If he's taken something from this tomb that he shouldn't have taken, then it will most likely be negative. If it's something that, if he hasn't taken anything at all and came here honouring the beliefs of the temple, then it will probably be positive. And if it's neither, then it might have no effect whatsoever.
Let's do a quick search. I'll go and do a quick search to see if there's anything out of place.
Well, he's up on
He
my back, so
didn't seem to have gone far enough to have taken anything.
I could just ask Grindelwald to do a search.
Oh.
I'll put Eden back on my hill as well.
Based on the way that the others seem to get affected by the crack as soon as they step down the corridor, you probably didn't have much time to take anything anyway. Yeah. I'm certainly happy to be taking him out at this stage, but I'm happy if others want to do something further.
I will take him out to Julie's house.
So you take him out and you feel he can get lighter as you get out.
Lighter in what way? Ephemeral, or as in
He feels
no
like
longer a dead weight?
Well, he feels no longer a dead weight.
Does Grindelwald notice anything?
He pokes him a bit and says, I'm sure it was a positive effect.
Okay, alright.
He hasn't died.
It seems like he's alive.
Seems like he's alive.
Okay, alright. So this is
What about the bottom of his body? Did she come to life when you took her out?
She not come to
No, I imagine not.
She went to where people go to die. Which is why you almost died 3 times.
While we're there, I will wrap her in whatever robes I might have that might be suitable for enshrouding her, at least for the interim.
Just got as a reflex save.
I was going to wait for Poole to get back and to perhaps contact Redrin and notify him that we found the archaeologist, but unfortunately she has passed away. And now that our warlock is here, I was going to suggest you use the staff to contact Redrin and say we found the archaeologist. Unfortunately she's passed
Well, it might be
away.
worth talking to the followers that are actually awake
Yep,
and talkative when we get out.
yep. We can
They might please give more information about what's happening, where it's going. Although your vision in the Tomb of the Dead is probably gave a lot more detail than
Yeah, well, I have all her memories, so I have everything she did from the moment she arrived at the tomb to the moment she died, which is some of the information I want to pass on to Redrin.
Yeah.
Since this was our goal, wasn't it? Was to find
Yes.
her and figure out what happened to her.
And why she
And you ordered that very nicely.
So we don't know why she
I mean,
Yes.
there may now be obviously a supplementary goal
Won't
of
be just the slow time.
finding out what the fifth gate things are, but yeah.
Well, that's the other reason
that
for-
becomes supplementary after we achieve the primary mission.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
other reason for contacting Redrin. We can pass on the information about the 4 doors being open and the 5th door opening, and does he want us to pursue that? By all means, we could probably question her companions, but I suspect that having got all of her memories, there's probably not much new that they can tell us in terms of Calcrix having that entire journal really there.
Well, they don't have more information about why they were here, because they probably would have been briefed on what they were looking for if they were going.
Which is
So
why
they weren't sitting it down to scout if they don't know what they're to be looking for.
yeah, which is why I was going to suggest if we can get her actual journal, we shall do a read. Yeah,
You recognise some symbology of Mazikeen.
Okay.
Apparently there was a locked Mazikeen in the third vault. Oh, so not the third vault, the fifth vault.
A locked
A lock to Mazikeen.
A lock to Mazikeen.
Mazikeen is one of his Dementor's locks.
Yeah.
At which point you remember you have a key to Mazikeen.
I do. Maybe something I could use here, I don't know. Maybe I could ask Mazikeen to find out.
We'll have to get the fifth door open for that.
It's supposed to be, and Mazikeen was holding a artifact of energy from the world.
Which means it's probably one of the bits of Redrune's shit that we want to get.
None of Redrune's stuff is considered an artifact.
Okay, now fair enough. Just ridiculously powerful. Yeah, that the staff that I've got that I can't really use yet much, that's a staff of Mazikeen. So, yeah. Staff itself may actually be useful in that particular way. I will have to have a look at it. Because if I use that staff incorrectly, although strictly now it's with the sword, if I use it incorrectly, it may destroy me.
The question now becomes is, does Redrune want us to attempt to open all four doors at the same time so that we can open up that fifth door and get to the lock of Mazikeen?
She has some sort of puzzle box of Mazikeen that she thinks is a key.
That's something I have to look at as well.
But she has no idea if it's the right key.
Yes, well that is an issue.
Well, if we've got two keys, it's handy.
Yeah. What's the thing? Even if neither of them is the correct key, someone who knows about keys and locks can look at commonalities between them to see what might actually be useful.
Or someone who's crazy enough to attempt to open a god lock with
Also you.
How do we know that?
We know because it's a lock and you're a thief.
And you've never had this challenge before.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not about being a thief or a rogue, it's about the challenge.
Yeah.
Well, that's of course you've already failed this challenge and Drell's brought you back a few times.
Don't ask Trazzle that. We don't want to find out.
That's the plan.
Yes.
But
This was number 6. No, I didn't really get it yet.
but there's some useful spells that can help. But I think the only person who can select them is the person who claims to not be much of a spellcaster. Enhanced ability would be handy for trying to keep a lock. There's
Yes.
an advantage on, say, for example,
Yes.
Dex checks.
Yes. And it's
So,
it's a cleric's spell, isn't it?
Yeah, Wizard's Gate too, I believe.
Okay.
It's one of those. It's replaced all the old bull's strength.
Yeah.
I think most spellcasters get it.
Yeah, enhanced ability, 2nd level, Artificer, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Wizard. So I don't get them, and neither do you.
so at this stage, I'm gathering the companions.
And he's
with questioning
low-
they
he's
don't
high
have
enough level
much
to know
more
it.
to tell us.
They
Second level.
tell you some of what Lull found from her journal.
Yep.
That they were here to recover
Like
a
a
artifact,
actual-
thinking it might be able
Yes.
to help them against the master. Because the things that work against entropy are generally artifacts of the other four spheres.
if I wanted to contact Regerian so that I could
Yeah.
pass on
Plus-
the information I've got.
You can take it on
Is that something we do
ones.
this game or next game?
We can put in this game on next game.
Did you want to quickly do Regerian now? So we've got a bit
So
of
don't
an
worry, it's
idea
much
of...
later. So it's like
Is it,
It is 18 Master.
yeah, did you want to finish up?
Well, we could
Yeah.
finish up there saying you've gotten some information, you're planning on speaking to Gregory, and that way you can think of what you want to ask him.
How are you talking? Is it just like a...
The staff.
We have a staff that works basically as a Regerian phone.
Okay, so it's not like it's not mimicking message or anything like
No,
that. Okay,
no, it's real-time communication.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not like you have to go. You can reply to this message.
Yeah, no, it's not an email. It's a phone call.
I've
Yeah.
been watching I've been listening to way too much ancient Law
Yes, you have.
and listening to Laura Bailey screw up messages.
Oh, it's always funny when you say you've got 25 words and they use 26 and the 26th word changes the meaning completely.
Yes, and then you go. And then you write down what they've given you, and then you read it out and leave off the last word. And then you go, what the hell?
Well, that's why I say if I give people wishes, I give them 25 words or less.
Yeah.
And anything over the 25 words is lined out.
Yes.
The funniest thing is you watch Laura Bailey recast the spell to get the rest of the message.
So thank you very much, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will see you tomorrow night.
Thanks for playing.
Hopefully
Thanks guys then.
you have a good night, and we will see you then.
Okay. Good night all.
Good night.
Hopefully we'll have a few more